Zelazny might have a run here. He pulls up. 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. What a run this has been. 5 cars out front just dancing around the lead. Salas back to the bottom. Honeycutt stuck up top. Slide job out of Salas. Crossover out of Honeycutt.
23 showing a big run here. He does.
You see Salas starting to cover it up. He goes up the racetrack. Honeycutt's clear of them both. He shoves it up in front of the 23, gets himself loose. It'll be white flag this time by. Salas down low. Zelazny looking for a hole. Side by side, 3 wide, Coffee in it. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Who is going to win the Luke's Playhouse 200? Honeycutt controlling the race. Coffee in second. Tires are aging. Zelazny off the top rope. Got a little bit free. He's going to crash with lights. And yes, wall there. Who knows? Honeycutt, though, leading the race. Can Coffee get a run? He's going to send it. He hits him. Big bump and run. Coffee's going to try and get away. Can Salas get there? Coffee's going to crash. Salas is going to crash. Watch Nick Lights here to the stripe. Salas is going to do it with no front bumper.
Unbelievable.
Wow. There's the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go at Long Beach. White flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams.
Yeah, can really hold him off. He looked like he's started to gap Cantonio just ever so slightly. Got about half of a second. It's been hovering right around there. Oh, Cantonio really pushing. He's sideways out of turn number 1. But Rayleigh just keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nice and smooth, able to keep it going. It's going to be tough. Antonio knows that there's not very many chances, even if you can get close enough to him to make a move. So we'll see as they come through 6 and 7, head toward turn 8 onto the backstretch.
Deeper in the field, nothing changing. Lap traffic ahead. It's Kevin Peak and Bradley Alvis right in front of our race leaders down East Seaside Way. and to turn number 9 for the final time. Lap traffic in the way, and Rayleigh goes for it on peak. He sends it into turn 9. He knows he can't wait. He knows he can't give an opportunity to Kevin Cantonio. Cantonio's gonna take it anyway, ships it into the hairpin, and Rayleigh's gonna get away. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a race winner in the North American Racing League. A last lap bump and run wasn't enough. This man wins at Long Beach.
Wow, what a finish coming through that hairpin. I thought they were all gonna wad it up. We had lap traffic in there, staying in there.
It's All-Star Week for the NORA Retro Cup Series, and that means good old-fashioned mid-2000s All-Star qualifying to kick off the night. 12 drivers are locked in should they decide to take the ticket into the race, and we'll be adding a few more to the lineup through a fan vote and open race in just a bit. This is it, the NORA All-Star Race. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Concord, North Carolina. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Super alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you once again for coverage of the NORA All-Star Race. Today's coverage is brought to you by Harpoon Designs, by NORA, and by Whiplash Cams. And simply put, Super, we are in for a treat. We only have a handful of cars ready to go for qualifying here. We didn't get every locked-in driver in this session, unfortunately. We are missing a couple. And then we have one extra as Joseph Vanduhar seems to have found himself in the wrong session, but that's okay. We are moments away from rolling cars on the racetrack, and in fact, I'm going to give Josh Conover the 60-second notification. So, Super, let's quickly roll through this. Charlotte Motor Speedway, there it is, 1.5 miles, 2.41 kilometers. It is not, despite how it may look from above, it is not symmetrical. It is a little bit off kilter. Pit lane actually runs a little bit non-parallel to the back stretch and the front stretch, and turns 3 and 4 are a little bit tighter than turns 1 and 2. It's all just, it's very close. It's like if they did the math in really low lighting and couldn't erase, and it was done in ink, because it's very, very close to being symmetrical, but it's just got a few things about it, Super, that make it a little bit more odd and really make each end of the racetrack different. Now, that is all fine and dandy, but on top of that, these guys have extra horsepower in the cars this evening. Let's go to the spec graphic for this race car. There it is, the 2003 NASCAR Cup Series car. You see 900 horsepower. That's a pretty beefy motor. That's pretty sporty. These guys are cranking 110% horsepower tonight. That's 990 horsepower, nearly 1,000 horsepower. I don't think we've ever broadcasted a car with that much power on the sim before. That is pretty crazy. 990 horsepower under these hoods this evening. They didn't touch the weight. They are allowing these guys to make some tire pressure adjustments, whether it's the Open or the All-Star race, but that's it. Otherwise, go race, fixed setup, 990 horsepower. It's going to be a blast tonight. Qualifying is literally moments away, I believe. In fact, yes, Brady Motes will be the first car on the track. We, of course, have our other pleasantries and formalities to go through in a little bit, but for now, we've just got all-star qualifying. I mean, that is the gist of this, Super, and there is Brady Motes ready to go down in his pit box. If you don't know what all-star qualifying is, Super, I'm glad you do. Because I don't know, I might have had to fire you from the broadcast or something, but no, tonight these guys will be running one hot lap, followed up by a lap in which they will have to make a 4-tire pit stop, so an in lap into the pit lane, no pit speed limit, and then a lap back around to the start-finish line. So essentially, it is a 3-lap qualifying with a pit stop on lap 2, and then you go and complete lap number 3. I think that's the simplest way to explain it. There is Brady Motes in his number 8. Unfortunately, iRacing doesn't really like this format. There's not a great way to do it in the sim and actually score it. So we won't be able to do much on the scoring side, but we'll have the ticker up anyways. And there goes Brady Motes. And Super straight up onto the racetrack. Doesn't have to stay on the apron. Here he goes. We are all-star qualifying for the 2026 or 2005 NORA All-Star Race, and Brady's taking it slow to get up to speed here. Here he goes. And so lap 1 underway for Brady Motes. We are going to be relying on admin timing here this evening. As I mentioned, there's not a great way to score this within iRacing, and Brady straight to the top of the racetrack. Look at that nose, though. It is completely taped off.
Yeah, you're talking about the nose. I'm listening to the engine. Look at that. Listen to that thing go. You can hear the power.
9,200, 9,300, 9,400 RPMs, 9,500, nearly 9,600 RPMs into turn 1. So this
He's
will
going
at least
200
tell
miles per
us.
hour.
This will at least tell us who runs the best, I guess, flying lap, right? With the ticker.
Yeah.
Here we
He's
go.
pulling
Pit
200
entry.
miles per hour at Charlotte.
Pit entry here. This is going to be sketchy. First one of the day. All right, nice and smooth, down to his box. This is where it's going to get tricky. Getting onto the pit lane is one thing. Getting into his box is a whole nother. And he overshoots it. What do you know?
I feel like we're going to see a lot of those today.
Actually not tracking his pit time, I suppose, because this is technically a qualifying session. But he'll still be able to drop the jack and go, so we don't get the pit time, unfortunately. That sucks.
Yeah.
iRacing, we need a game mode to do all-star qualifying, because we got to be able to track this stuff. Anyways, there he goes, back up onto the banking. And so we will be feverishly waiting on NORA admins to get this time. First lap, a 28.91. Second lap, 37.89. And he's in the wall hard. Big contact off of turn number 2. Actually, he blew the engine.
He blew the engine?
Look at the RPMs, 300. He blew the engine.
Oh damn.
I wonder if these guys will be allowed to make some tape adjustments and take a crack back at this, because if they're all taped off solid, that is going to happen more. First lap, well, first run for Brady Motsier, 156.92. Again, I wonder... The admins, I know you guys are listening, right? Are these guys able to go for less tape, or is the setup forced to be full tape? Because this is going to be an interesting evening if these guys have to manage their temperatures.
I mean, the engines are just so strong. Right? Like you were saying, it's almost 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, when you consider the extra horsepower they're turning, that changes things up big time. So let's go back. Well, actually, Cody Reeder's hitting the racetrack. Interesting. It's you can run either qualifying tape or race tape. After seeing that for Brady, I wouldn't even mess with it personally. I would go straight to race tape. I don't even want the chance.
Yeah. I mean, that.
Well, Cody Reeder on the track. And we'll see what he's got for his qualifying run for the All-Star race. He's got a win from the 2004 season, has not won yet here in 2005. In case you're wondering why I'm saying 04 and 05, well, this season for the NORA Retro Cup Series is based on the 2005 NASCAR Cup Series season. That's why a lot of the paint schemes are based in 2005. First flying lap for Cody Reeder, a good bit quicker than Brady Moats. Wonder how it's going to...
time. He's got time to gain, especially on the pits, because we know Moats shot it.
Oh, yeah. Let's see how he's able to manage this run into the pit lane. Downshifting big time. That was a lot of RPMs. That was scary to listen to. Sketchy into the pit lane. Here he goes. Down to his box. Cody Reeder. Let's see what he's got.
Hard.
Oh, that's not the greatest angle now, is it? Okay, well. Into the box, though. Did not miss it. That is good.
Yeah,
Now,
I think the... No, sorry. You can go.
In case you're wondering if you can vote somebody into the race tonight, yes, you can. I have pinned the fan vote link in the YouTube chat. So you can go vote for your favorite driver to make it into tonight's All-Star race. I think Cody Reeder's going to have a leg up. Question is, Super, does he grenade the engine out of turn 4?
I mean, that is definitely where Moats lost a little bit. We're going to have to hear... We obviously know he's going to be on the limit, but is he going to be over the limit?
He's going to make it around. Not by a whole lot, but he does make it back around. So, Cody Reeder, let's see, first lap was just a bit quicker. And his time is going to come out to 1:54.73 for Cody Reeder. And there goes the engine. It's just let go.
Yeah. I think it's honestly just going to come down to the pit entrance and stop. That's right. The first lap is just like a little bonus, but mostly it's going to come down to that pit stop. So much time to gain and lose.
And so Dustin Kleba gets ready to go in his number 9, most recent race winner here in the NORA Retro Cup Series. This is a new paint scheme for Dustin. I think definitely a spoof on the Casey Kane paint schemes of old. Well, here he goes for his run in the number 9. He won at Richmond last week. I'll tell you what, if we do a 2006 season with these guys, if we renew for 2027, and we get a chance to go back at this, I am going to be badgering everybody I know that works with ATVO to see if we can get a better system for this. This kind of came about at a time where we just couldn't really... I mean, I tell you what, I did invest a good bit of time in trying to figure this out. But we're going to find some kind of advancement in technology next year. Make this happen. Let's see. Kleba around to complete lap number 1. His flying lap. A little bit slower. So I wonder, is it taped up solid on the nose? I actually don't think it is. Yeah. But if you can give up, 2-3 tenths on the flying lap to then go faster in the overall run, I don't think it's a bad idea. Here we go. Into the pit lane for Dustin Kleba. Nice smooth entry. Down to his box. Let's see what he's got. A lot of wheel hop. Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's one way to do it.
At least.
That is one way to do it. Dustin Kleba going to bring it around town and into his box for the 4-tire stop. And he will get back on the racetrack here in just a moment. More drivers are signing in, so we are getting closer and closer to our full field. Hunter Sr. has made it into the session. Vincent Arthur as well. And there goes Kleba back out there. This run, kind of a wash, I think, but he might still be competitive with Brady Motes, considering the engine expiration for Motes and the run through the box for Brady. This might still be on par with the 8 car. We'll see. Around turns 3 and 4, Dustin Kleba coming to the start-finish line to complete his all-star qualifying run. And the read from the admins, it's going to be slow. Yeah, about 4 seconds. 5 seconds, even. Yeah, 5 seconds slower than Brady Motes. A 2:01.12 for Dustin Kleba. So far, you know what? The order on the scoring pylon is the current order of time. That's pretty impressive, actually. Here we go. Brian Jones going to hit the racetrack. He's got the win from earlier this season at Bristol Motor Speedway. And the interesting thing about those 45 entry supers, you see the 45 from 2005, and you see the number even that we've used on the graphics, because he's going to abandon his run, I think. If he gets a chance to reset it, but this 45 entry is kind of it's kind of a zombie entry, if that makes sense. He's actually going to the setup actually to change some things, but he is racing under the Evernham banner, so he's technically a teammate to Dustin Kleba and Cody Reeder, despite that traditionally being a petty number. I don't know all the details. Somebody can explain to me later on, but here we go. Chase Durheim out on the racetrack. Car number 16. I don't think that nose is taped completely off.
Yeah, I feel like after, the engine blow, you're going to see drivers really wanting to take it a lot more cautious. Was it Most lost 2 seconds on his final lap because of the engine blow? It's unfortunate.
And so Chase Durham around to begin his flying lap. As he does so, I do want to take a look at the weather conditions in tonight's session for this qualifying. There's 70.4 degrees ambient, 74 on track. Clear skies. Beautiful evening at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, not too far from where I'm located. And here we go to complete lap number 1 for Chase Durham across the stripe. Lap 1 for Chase, second quick as far as single laps go, just a tick faster than Brady Motes.
So if we're going off the theory of the leaderboard can correctly predict it, he's going to get second.
And here we go, into the pit lane. That felt really smooth. Question is, can he hit his box just right? In deep right to the side. This could be a really good run.
He entered at around like 160. I haven't seen that kind of speed at anyone else yet.
This could be a really good run out of Chase Durham. Watch this. He did keep the engine running. That's something I noticed out of Cody Reeder. He shut the engine off during the pit stop and fired it back up on exit. Durham kept it running, but if he's got the nose opened up, if it's not taped up solid, he should be fine regardless.
His pit entry lap was 2 seconds faster than the guys ahead of him.
That looked really, really good on pit entry. I think this might be a winner. Or at the very least, this might be pole time for now, between the four that have gone. To the line for Chase Durham. What's it going to be on the overall time? That lap, a 53 for iRacing. Yeah, that didn't seem right to me either. And the admins put down 47.88 for his third lap, and that is going to be a 152.38. There goes the engine. Don't need it anymore. So, it is faster. He picked up 2 seconds on Cody Reeder, and I didn't even think Cody's run looked slow.
Yeah. I mean, he just had an insane pit entry.
And Jared Skinner out onto the racetrack. He has the win from earlier this season at Fontana, or Auto Club Speedway. Was definitely kind of a surprising win for Jared. It was race 2 on the season. Hunter Sr. had just gotten the win at Daytona. Definitely falls under unexpected. But Jared, he's in the All-Star race, looking to make the chase this season, looking to maybe grab another win or 2 on the way. Let's see what he's got for this All-Star qualifying run. Oh, he missed the bottom. And so here we go to complete lap number 1 for Jared Skinner, flying lap across the line. That's going to land him 4th so far. Better than Cleveland's time, obviously, but not up to par with Durham. Let's see what he's got down to the turns 3 and 4. Jared Skinner coming around the bend. And pit entry, he's down to 3rd. I feel like the better entries have been in 4th. Back up to 4th gear for a moment. And slowly down to his box. This is hot. Too hot. Reverse. Back it up, Terry.
Yeah, he was entering at around about 130. The fastest we've seen so far was Durham. He was coming in at 160.
I don't think downshifting there is the way to go. I think just make the entry, put the throttle back down for a second. Then again, what do I know? Here we go. Jared Skinner back on the racetrack. His out lap now. His in lap was just faster than Kleba, but slower than everybody else who's run so far. That would be, of course, because he missed his box pretty badly. And so Jared Skinner to the line. It's going to be, I think, about third or fourth spot. Time to beat so far a 1:52.38. That run for Skinner, a 2-minute .55. So 2-minute .55.
And there's his engine.
So he is just quicker than Dustin Kleba here. That will put him fourth on the board so far in the number 04. Josh Conover now up to go in car number 48. Let's see what he's got. Also, while we're waiting on Josh to begin his first lap on the racetrack, a big thank you for everything he's done to Pit Stop TV, and happy birthday to Zach Murtis. Couldn't be here this evening celebrating his 25th trip around the sun as he begins trip 26. So a quarter century midlife crisis, or I guess quarter life crisis for Zach Murtis beginning here today. Happy birthday to him. I know he wanted to be here. I joked around that maybe we should have entered him in as an open driver for the race, but apparently his I rating is too high and he's too good for that.
It's too good to compete.
Lap 1 for Conover. Let's see where it's going to put him. Fourth quick so far on flying lap pace, 29.133. By the way, that fan vote's still live. You can go vote for your favorite driver to make it into the All-Star race today. But here's Conover down to the pit lane. He keeps it in fourth gear, comes around the bend. Needs to be on brakes right here, I think. That's a little late.
Oh, he's going in hot.
Oh, I was going to say, I guess it does depend on where your box is. And that I think is why NASCAR did standardize the pit box location back in the day for this. But obviously it's impossible to do that on iRacing. So Conover into his box, down and away. Having that end of pit lane pit box, I think, really helped him. He was able to stay in the gas just a little bit longer.
No.
And so golden hour here for All-Star qualifying. Josh Conover back on the loud pedal, his entry lap there. Let's see what it was. For Conover, it's not logged yet. He's actually the one who has to log it. So we have to wait a second for his times to go in. Conover down across the line. We will wait patiently for him to log his own laps for his qualifying attempt.
Can't have him texting and driving. That set a bad example.
Oh, these guys do it anyways. Don't worry.
Hey,
I always laugh
we don't
when we
want
get. I always laugh when we get comments from drivers that are in the race. Zach King does this a lot. He'll be typing in YouTube chat as he's racing, and I've just always found that funny. But here we go, Hunter Sr. He's had a few wins of the season, 3. To be exact, he won back at Daytona to start the season off, then again at Las Vegas. And yet again, I want to say, was it Texas that Senior won? Oh man, I can't recall now.
I'll pull it up.
Fair enough. I want to say it was Texas, but I just simply cannot recall. Regardless, 3 wins of the season, more than anybody else. It was Talladega, that's what it was. It was Talladega.
Yeah.
So he's got the 2 plate tracks so far, plus Las Vegas. And you know why I recall it was Talladega, actually, is because Zach Murtis, that was the first 5 race put on by Wayne Sparks, where basically it's the Winston No-Bull deal. And, wow, I just noticed Senior was up over 200 that time at turn 3. Regardless, that was one of the promotional races for the 5, and the winner of that race, if they were in the 5, as set by the top 5 at Atlanta Motor Speedway earlier this season, Senior's flying lap is second quick. Whoever won that race or was top of those drivers would get $50. And Zach Murdoch basically said, if Hunter Sr. wins the race, I'll put up an extra 50 for Charlotte. So, yeah, Zach is 50 in the hole for next week's 450-mile race here. But let's see. Senior down into the pit lane. That felt smooth, I will say. To his box, though. Let's see what he's got. That's deep and spinning for Hunter Sr.
Yeah, just like Kleba, but he's able to. Yeah.
Went straight by it. And I wonder if these guys are looking maybe at what Josh Conover did, for example, and thinking, oh, well, I can stay in the gas that long. No, you can't. He had the latest pit box. If you've got an earlier box like this, especially Senior entering into the 11th pit stall, you've got to be on the brakes much sooner. Well, I guess the 11 pit stalls worth, right?
Yeah, it's up to the drivers to have to decide that. And oh, got a little blink there.
So this run will be a bit of a wash for Hunter Sr. That's okay. We have a new second place in All-Star qualifying, Josh Conover. His time, a 1:53.64, just over a second slower than Chase Durheim at a 1:52.38. As here comes Senior around to the start-finish line to wrap up his qualifying run. It's not going to be pretty, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We've still got to run. Dalton Tucker, Vincent Arthur, and Brian Jones. Ryan Shelton and Timothy Harper were eligible for this race with wins last season, but neither opted to make the start here today.
Look at that 3.
Yes, look at this paint scheme for Dalton Tucker. This is easily my favorite of the week, that's for sure. The Peter Max paint scheme, for some reason, is one that I just always have loved. That is the 2000 All-Star Race paint scheme for Dale Earnhardt. And, man, it is just so good. I replicated it on a truck back in, I think, 2018 on iRacing. And let me tell you, this is the coolest paint scheme that Dalton could have possibly had here this evening.
It's fitting.
Such a pretty car. Here he goes. Lap 1. Going to be underway in just a moment for Dalton Tucker. Let's ride on board. Nice and smooth around the middle lane of the racetrack. A lot of guys have opted either top or bottom. Kind of split the middle there. 201 into turn 3. Off the corner, lap 1 for Dalton Tucker. Let's see where it matches up on flying lap pace. Again, 201 into turn 1, and look at that, top of the board for flying laps for Dalton Tucker. A little loose though off of turn 2.
Just clipped 200 coming into 3.
See what he's got here for this run into the pit lane. That felt smooth.
150 entrance.
A little wide out into the wall. Let's see what he's got down to his box. You can hear the wheel hop. Oh, a little deep. Back it up. That's not too bad. That might be 3rd or 4th. It's not going to be a pole run, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Chase Durheim absolutely knocked that one out of the park. It's going to be good, but not pole time.
Yeah, you hear him shoot off.
I'm telling you, there is not a cooler race car paint scheme. The BMW art cars ain't got nothing on this. This is just such a cool car. And here he goes, Dalton Tucker through turns 3 and 4. Let's see what he's got to the stripe. Off of turn 4 to the line, trying to obviously qualify for pole. I don't think it's going to be pole, but we're just still waiting on Hunter Sr.'s time to finalize per the admins. So we will wait just a moment before jumping the gun on this, but I think Tucker is going to be about 2nd or 3rd. As Hunter Sr.'s time will go down as a 2:10.94, which, sure enough, that is last so far. Tucker's times beginning to be logged by race admins, as here is Vincent Arthur on the pit lane, ready to go for his run. While he gets up to speed, a big thank you to our partners with the series, Harpoon Designs, Sparks Builders, Clark Contracting, and the National Oval, I did this last week, National Oval Racing Association, otherwise known as NORA, and our partners here at the channel, Whiplash Simcams, MX Wraps, ATVO, Murder C Sports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. Arthur begins lap number 1. Looked good through 1 and 2 to me.
Able to get 200 to 3 and 4, just like those other guys. We're gonna see. This feels like a good lap.
And Vincent Arthur to turn number 1, a little bit slower on the flying lap pace, which is interesting because the nose is taped off.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised by that for Vincent. I would have expected him to be right at the top of the board with Dalton Tucker, but here's his run to the pit lane. This could be something. Right around that wall, nice and tidy.
Yeah, it's a 140 entrance so far.
And to his box, that was beautiful. A little deep. Otherwise, really, really nice for Vincent Arthur up on the jacks. Nice clean exit out of the pit lane there for Vincent Arthur. Back on board with car 24. He's got to win this season at Martinsville. That gets him back into this all-star race. I believe he had plenty of wins to keep him in anyways, but... Here we go, Vincent Arthur to the line to complete his qualifying run. Admins are still compiling times. Maybe we can hold Brian Jones until we get all times in, as Vincent Arthur comes around and completes his run. And Brian Jones will roll. This will be the final qualifying attempt. Dalton Tucker, by the way, how about this? It's a 1:53.57 for Dalton Tucker. That is less than a tenth faster than Josh Conover. That is good for second on the board here in qualifying. Solid, solid run out of Tucker. We don't know yet where Vincent Arthur's will lie. I do reckon this guy could take a swing at pole, though, and we did take picks, by the way, for All-Star Pole qualifying for our fantasy game that we do here. And I was completely wrong, by the way. I picked Hunter Sr. He's going to be dead last. But there's a few guys in contention. Maybe.
I unfortunately also picked Senior.
Yeah, it didn't go very well, did it?
Yeah. Well, it felt strong when I made it.
You know who did pick Dalton Tucker, though, was Josh Conover. Now, he's second so far, but still, that's the best I've seen so far looking through the picks. A few picks for Vincent Arthur. As here we go, Brian Jones, first flying lap for him, was slowest, actually, of the entire bunch. Let's see what he's got down into his box. If he can nail this, he can still be competitive in this qualifying. A little deep.
Lost maybe about a few tenths there. Not what you want to see when you're already setting the slowest original lap time by about 5/10 of a second, but there's plenty of time to be made up, as we've seen so far.
And I think this run can probably go for third or fourth. I felt like Tucker had second or third. He got second. I feel like Jones can maybe still get third or fourth, depending on how fast Vincent Arthur was. His time is still being noted by admins, so it's not final yet. Okay,
Yeah, it's just been added.
Yeah, 154.64 for Arthur. This could be more like fourth or fifth territory for Jones then. Across the line for car 45. His run is complete. We don't know exactly how that stacks up just yet. But to paint the picture a little bit, everybody else's runs, let's see where it puts them. The order is Chase Durheim at a 152.38. Then Dalton Tucker, a 153.57. Josh Conover, a 153.64. Then it's really tight between Vincent Arthur at a 154.64 and Cody Reeder at a 154.73. So Jones's run is done. He took an extra lap, it looks like. And his times will slowly get added in here into the spreadsheet that the admins have so graciously prepared for us. In the meantime, Super, what we can do is take a look actually at a couple of things. Power rankings, for example. Actually, let's start with point standings. Let's be a little bit, what's the word? Let's create some anticipation here. So point standings coming into tonight for this all-star race. There you see, obviously we're not earning points tonight, so this will be the same graphic we have next week for Charlotte for the points race here. But there you see Hunter Sr. still on top. Really not much changing. And there's not a lot to talk about on this graphic other than I'd say Vincent Arthur moving up into the chase with some room back to Jacob Gladulich is pretty important. Gladulich now right on the cut line. Dustin Kleba much closer to the cut line. Cody Smith, Donald Kite, Ryan Housden. We thought they were, in contention a handful of weeks ago. Now they are looking like they're, 50, 60 points out. It's going to be hard to overcome that going into some of the racetracks we have coming up. Not impossible, but difficult for sure. I will say Brian Jones did have one of the better pit entry laps, so I'm anxiously awaiting his time to be counted, and it looks like we've got it. It's going to be a 155.57. That will put him just behind Vincent Arthur. So I believe the lineup will be 16. Oh, well, they've set it up for us. So 16, 3, 48, 24, 19, 45, 8, 04, 9, and 4. So Chase Durheim has one pole for the All-Star race this evening. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we can dial him up. Is he in Discord? Let's see if we can grab him here while we switch sessions into the open race. I'm searching for driver 16. Yes, he is. Let's go ahead and grab him. And see if we can get a word with Chase Durheim, who goes and sets his pole time for the All-Star race here today. We're going to be switching sessions here, Chase, but while we do so, how anxiety-invoking, I guess, was that qualifying run? He may have stepped away from the PC.
Understandable. Probably had to cool off after...
after all the anxiety of that run, yeah. Well, Chase, if you're there, we can't hear you right now. I'm not sure if you're working on the mic or if you stepped away, but we'll leave Chase in here. When he comes back, he comes back. But Super, some other stuff to talk about around this evening's race and just the series in general. Power ranking is coming into tonight. Here's a look at them. Brought to you by Clark Contracting. And Hunter Sr. still on top, but his total is coming down and down and down. And, I don't know exactly when we're finally going to see a pass for that position, but I think are getting closer and closer to maybe having Josh Conover take over up top. I mean, Dustin Kleba, Brian Jones, they'd be great as well. I think we're getting closer to seeing a changing of the Garden Power rankings, but it's just not happening yet.
It just goes to show what a season he's had when we're, talking about this. He is, right, he's been up there. He's been great. We also already saw it when we were talking about the points. He's got a huge gap, right? Of course, that's not going to be too significant when Chase comes around, but it's a whole lot of momentum for him. It's going to be exciting.
I'm excited to see how things change on this graphic in particular. And it seems like we have Chase Durham alongside now. Chase, you there?
Yes, sir. I got you.
So a pretty fun qualifying session there. I know it was a little bit disjointed just with, the bad run for Jones and such. But I mean, what was that like from your perspective? First of all, just going out there and having to, figure out that format and then nail that format, and you did.
Yeah, it was a challenge, but I was definitely looking forward to it. We were able to get a couple practice runs in before we actually ran tonight, and that helped a lot. But it was also a challenge just getting used to the extra horsepower too, because on the flying lap it was really easy to step out and wreck. So it's going to be an interesting night, I think, with extra power.
That's a great question that I was about to ask about. With the extra power, 990 horsepower now in this car, approximately. That's a lot. That's a lot of juice coming up off the corner, just putting the gas down. So how challenging is it maybe on older tires? It seems from my testing, it's still pretty hooked up on new tires. But I'd imagine, give it 10 laps, that it's a handful.
Yeah, and another variable too is we're able to change the tire pressures a little bit. And to be honest with you, I have no idea what exactly each tire is going to do with the tire pressures, but I don't know. It's going to be weird. And then also next week when we go back down to 100%, that's going to feel weird too now. So I really don't know what to expect. I'm just here to kind of have fun and not take it as serious. I feel like I've had a kind of a disappointing season, and when we start our sessions, I take it really serious, and maybe that's my problem. Maybe I just need to relax and have fun, and probably have a better result tonight because of that.
I'm actually glad you mentioned kind of not having a great season to this point. I mean, you're always in contention, it seems like, at the start of the race, but it seems like something always takes you out of it. And if we look at the points, the power rankings rather, on screen currently, you're 7th, and you just took a big hit, down 5 spots. You've been higher up, certainly, for a while, but it seems like everybody's getting kind of really close right now. It seems like any week there's at least 8 of you guys who can win the race. So how do you, I guess, attack these next few races, points races coming up? Forget the All-Star for a minute. Charlotte next week, and then, Dover, Pocono, all those kind of classic summer tracks coming up. How do you approach those and try to put the 16 in victory lane finally?
I'm searching a little bit, honestly. I've done a lot of league racing in the past, and this is definitely one of, if not the hardest league that I've ever joined. So obviously it's going to be a challenge every night, but like you said, I always seem to have something go wrong. I run into someone and get a penalty, or just make some silly mistake or something, or strategy, and just have bad luck. So the next few races, I'm just going to try to find my groove and figure out how to be there at the end of the races. I need to be top 2 or 3 and able to make a move at the end to actually win these things. So I'm going to kind of, change my steering ratios, try to get a little better on the long runs and stuff, and kind of play around a little bit these next few weeks, because the Chase are all pretty good tracks for me, except for, I think, Martinsville's in there. I'm not very good there. But those are all good tracks for me, so I think I have actually a pretty good shot at the championship if I can just get my shit together a little bit.
Well, as we load into the session here for the Open here tonight, I have one more question, all right? And, we keep up with these power rankings and such, and now we have the fantasy game and whatnot. How much do you, as a driver, kind of pay attention to that stuff?
Probably more than I should, honestly. I should just be focused on the point standings and stuff, but it's interesting, and you guys do a really good job with the broadcast, and I love going back and watching them, and I'm watching it right now on my TV, sitting in 7th position, and it kind of pisses me off. So I probably shouldn't really care about it. All that matters is your finishes, really, and let's be honest, this is just a league for fun. It doesn't all that matter that much, but I'm too competitive, and it pisses me off, and I need to be up higher, I think, in my opinion.
Well, hey, this is an opportunity. I know we're not scoring tonight in as far as the power rankings go, but certainly the points race next week, that's an opportunity to bump back up there. So, Chase, I'm a fan. Best of luck. Hopefully we're talking to you soon with a win behind your name.
Appreciate it. Yeah, at least podiums. At least get me on some podiums. Yeah, I think I've only had one this year. So these guys they bring it every single week, and they're gonna bring it tonight. So let's get ready for a show, huh?
There you go, Chase Durheim, pole sitter for tonight's All-Star race for the NORA Retro Cup Series. Thank you, Chase. And sure enough, we have cars headed to the grid. So we're going to roll straight into tonight's starting grid for the open race tonight. And, well, there's a lot more to talk about on that note in a moment. But let's take a look at tonight's starting grid for the open. There isn't much of a grid, actually, because we weren't in here as qualifying happened. That's okay. We can go through it audibly, and it looks like the number 81 of Kevin Baumler is going to lead us to the green. There is Kevin Baumler alongside Kyle Rochelle. Ryan Housden third. That's going to be Cody Anderson fourth. Wayne Sparks fifth. Brad Fulham sixth. Cody Smith, Ronnie Norman seventh and eighth. 9th and 10th go Caden Henry Oaks and Jacob Gladulich, followed by John Skavnicki and Nick Ham. And then finally, LJ Hernandez alongside Joseph Andujar. And a little farther back, Jake Christenberry, Matthew George, Joey Stats, and Nick Geilis set up to take the green for tonight's All-Star Open. The iRacing.com safety car will take one more lap around the racetrack here. That'll give us enough time here to look at your Whiplash SimCam's race details. They didn't get saved. Pay no mind to that. I can fix that in a moment here. But while I do fix that, here's a look at your weather conditions, Super.
It's a nice cooler day, right? We got 72. Of course, that will change as we go on. You see, sun's already setting. 10 mile per hour wind, definitely. Well, now 11, as I say that. So you're going to see it start to cool down a little bit. Now, that's definitely going to change some things up. It's especially going to end up helping the people who go from this race onto the next race, as they're going to be more used to these cars, more used to that, that track temperature. It will be an advantage.
And so there you see the weather conditions, and here you see the race details. All-Star qualifying, that just happened. We have a 30-lap open about to hit the racetrack. Well, on the racetrack, about to go green. There will be a 20-lap segment and then a 10-lap segment to the end. The All-Star race tonight, there you see the 40-30-20 breakdown. There will be a forced green flag pit stop and an invert with that first segment. Then they just run 30 and 20 to the end. Double file restarts all night long. Here we go to the first green flag of the night that is not strictly on the timing charts. Kevin Baumler, never mind, we've got one more lap. I'm okay with that, because you know what that means we can talk about? Is our fantasy game in particular here. There you have kind of the details for this season's NORA fantasy game. And we're doing this, we've rolled this out across the board for BRB, for NORA, for AARN, the three main NASCAR style series that we cover. And we're even going to roll it out, I think, for the end of the North American Racing League GT3 cars, GT3, their championship. But for right now, just in the NASCAR style series. And what we've been able to do with this is, I think, build a bit more of a community behind the series. And also, we have point standings, so fantasy points after a couple of rounds of this fantasy game for the NORA Retro Cup Series. And there you have it. John Skavnicki on top. LJ Hernandez, Brady Moats, they're your top three. I moved up. Zach Modis, he didn't pick last week, so he dropped way down. Super, unfortunately, you did not have good luck at Richmond. But we are picking for this one tonight, and this is kind of where picks are going to lock in, actually, because we're about to go racing, and the All-Star qualifying is over, so picks are locked at this point. Let's see, I'll have to go back and check who I picked to make it into tonight's race. We also have the fan vote. Boy, this is going to be something special, I think, as we get ready to go racing this time, I believe, off of turn number 4. 30 laps the distance for tonight's open race. One gets in by winning, one gets in by the fan vote, one other random driver makes it into the All-Star race tonight. Here we go. Green flag racing, All-Star open style. Not a good start on the bottom side. And out of turn number 2, keep in mind with that start, these guys are on 110% horsepower. I think that might be some of why we just saw these guys spin all that tire on the initial start of this race.
Yeah, and right, again, I was talking about it with the tire temp. It's gonna really give, you know, a little bit of a boost to these guys who make it, right? They're gonna be at least a little bit more used to it. Not a whole lot, but it's gonna help. As you see, I think a few guys in the back might have hit the wall. I didn't get the best view of it, but you see they're getting used to the horsepower.
I do feel like they're flying by the start-finish line about 10% faster. But into turn number 1, Kyle Rochelle has the lead, and this, I think, is a big wake-up call to everybody trailing him right now. I don't think he is somebody that we expected to win this Open at all. I mean, personally, I picked Cody Smith in the 42. He's back in 5th spot right now, just ahead of Wayne Sparks. I did not expect the 12 to be leading this thing. They have Caden Henry Oaks, rookie to the series, just got in last week at Richmond. He called me earlier today saying, man, I don't know where to go. I don't know what we're doing for this. We're just going to basically send it and hope. And, you know, he's newly been named to be a full-time driver, it seems, for Hendrick Motorsports the rest of the season, between the 84 and the 25. And, boy, that was close off of turn number 2. So he's going to sub in the 25 a few times if Matthew George misses any more races. But it sounds like full-time in the 84 otherwise, making his real debut in that ride here tonight. Boy, oh boy, we're just settling in. On board with Brad Fulham. He's back in 10th. Now, I do wonder how much fall off we're going to see in this race, Super, because, you know, my initial inclination is to just focus on the guys out front. But with this 110 horsepower, 110% horsepower, I wonder if we see some of these guys burn their tires up even faster than normal and see a bit of an invert as far as who is running where on the racetrack. I wonder. Prestonberry slow off of turn number 2. He drops down to the inside. Joey Stats will go by in the 77. It's kind of the back end of the field. These guys just kind of hanging on at this point in time. But Kyle Rochelle, boy, he is lighting these guys up. I don't know if the admins have made any adjustments to the format as far as who gets in, but what we were told is basically 3 drivers as Caden has got problems. Caden Henry Oaks slow to the inside, another way slow. That was Nick Geilis to the inside. Big problems these last couple laps for a couple of drivers, as Caden Henry Oaks falls back to 9th. On board with Kevin Baumler, you see the gap bottom right from Kevin up to Kyle Rochelle. Nearly halfway through segment 1, they will have a caution to split these 2 segments. And so my question to the admins, these guys have a chance to make a 4-tire stop there? Can they get tires and try to run back through the field in the final 10? I wonder. Do you want track position or do you want tires in that kind of situation, Super? I mean, again, you know, talking about this extra horsepower, possibly burning these tires off, that could really shake things up.
I mean, yeah, you say that, yeah, you know, Rochelle, he's been in that clean air. He's been pulling away more and more. Right, of course, not saying that it's only because of the clean air, but, you know, I think track position definitely helps. We saw he had a great restart on the outside and was able to pull ahead. Now he's just pulling away.
On board with John Skavnik, he's down in 8th. He was able to get by Caden Henry Oaks. There you see Ronnie Norman ahead. There's a lot of names in this field tonight that I'm just so surprised have not won a race in the last calendar year and then some to make it into tonight's All-Star race. I'm also just so surprised we're only taking 1, well, I guess 2, technically 3 from this Open. The Open winner, 1 random driver, plus the fan vote winner. That makes the fan vote super important, and that fan vote is public in the YouTube chat. You can go vote for your favorite driver to make it into the All-Star race tonight. If they're not Kyle Rochelle, they might need some help. But again, I did not expect this out of Kyle at all.
I don't think anyone did.
I know you're still learning these guys, but go back and look at results and standings and such, and this might be a wake-up call to what he can truly do in these cars, particularly maybe on a mile and a half, because you know, we've seen him in a handful of other races this season, and just nothing quite like this, as now there's a battle checking up for second. And this little pocket of cars could still completely change. Cody Smith right behind Cody Anderson. Baumler and Hausen now fighting. Okay. That's the update that I was looking for, Josh Conover. Thank you. So the top 3 will make it, plus the random from the lead lap, and plus the fan vote. So Rochelle, he's not worried at all. But now this battle for third is that much more interesting, Super. That is the transfer battle right there. Kevin Baumler and Cody Anderson.
It's heating up, too. You see right now, side by side, Baumler trying to hold on to it. For my sake, I chose him. I'm hoping he holds on to it. But he's going to get a little loose out of the corner. Here comes Smith on the inside into turn 3. He's going to have the run. Will get clear. Baumler's now in 5th.
So Baumler falling back, started this race on pole. He's down in 5th position. He might be relying on that fan vote to get into tonight's All-Star race as he mixes it up now with Cody Smith in the 42. I won't lie, I'll be candid. I voted for Baumler and I picked Smith. So I'm a little bit surprised to see these two out right now, as the transfer again will be your top 3. Rochelle leading by 1.6 seconds, then Hausen in 2nd, Anderson in 3rd. Cody Smith might be onto something though as we approach the end of segment number 1 here in the Open.
A little loose there as he comes out of 2. That's not going to help him.
By the way,
he's still got time.
Josh has now notified me the fan vote is closed, but it was open initially. Four laps to go, segment number 1. Not a whole lot of pressure behind Cody here. Kevin is there, but not very closely. And you see there's battles behind, but really the big concern is still that battle for third as Ronnie Norman, John Skavnicki, and Wayne Sparks do some battle here. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Just being able to clear them as they go into 1. Right, and even though this might not be for that top 3, right, all these spots are still very important. We do have plenty of time to go throughout this All-Star Open, right? Anything can happen. Baumler started on pole. He's now dropped down to 5th, right? Anything can happen throughout the remainder of this race.
I think these guys can pit as well. I'm waiting on clarification on that. I actually just asked in the admin chat if these guys will get the chance to make pit stops, because that opens things up entirely. If these guys can do whatever they want on the pit stop, that really could shake things up. And I mean, with Cody Smith right on the back bumper here of Cody Anderson, then you see this battle, Ronnie Norman slowly working through the field. Okay, mandatory pit stop, mandatory stop, but they can do either 2 or 4, but they have to come in and they have to get tires as Baumler drops to 6th. He is quickly dropping out of contention for this All-Star race, but Anderson and Smith, here they go, the two Codys, side by side. Final lap of segment 1.
Gonna clear him.
Smith is ahead, and Hausen, by the way, is running the 12 car down. This gap has come way down for the lead. Kyle Rochelle will still win segment number 1. So at the segment, it's Rochelle, Hausen, and Smith, your top 3. Now you see everything's going to move around since we're not counting caution laps here tonight. Boy, oh boy. And again, these guys, they have to do a pit stop now for this segment, either 2 tires or 4. Man, I don't know what I would do.
I mean, we saw the tires, right? Right, almost 1,000 horsepower. These tires are not lasting that long. I think the reason that Ballmer might have dropped is because we saw a little bit of wheel spin on that opening. He maybe could have killed the tires a little bit, and the extra horsepower didn't help. I personally would go for 4.
I think if you're deep enough, but not too deep. Like if you're like 6th or 7th, maybe 8th, you can probably go for 2. Try to get the track position, and try to just, I mean, it's only 10 laps to the end. Let's find out what these guys do. Everybody coming into the pit lane. All-Star Open style. What is the call going to be across the board? These guys have a choice. 2 tires or 4 tires. What will it be? Rochelle deep into his box. It's going to cost him. If I'm housed in, I may as well uncheck the left sides now. Go ahead and launch. It's a surefire advantage over the 12 if you do. But no. Smith 2, Rochelle 2, everybody else 4 it looks like. And Baumler deep in the field. LJ Hernandez slowly off the pit lane, and that number 6. Let's see the pit timer here for Cody Smith. 9.3. That's 2 tires for sure. 9.7. That's 2 tires for Rochelle. And then look at this guy, Caden Henry Oaks. 9.2 seconds. He took the gamble. So he goes for 2 tires. He's going to restart 3rd. Jake Christenberry also took 2. He's going to restart 5th. This could be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Let's be honest.
Yeah. How are you feeling about these guys on 2 tires?
I think they'll be all right. I really think there's something to it. We've been seeing it more and more in these races lately. There's Ryan Housden on 4. More and more often lately, we've been seeing 2 tires actually work, whether it's in the current Cup cars, the old Cup cars, the ARCA cars. It doesn't matter. It seems like it's working more and more often. So I like it. I think it's a good call. Go for 2. It's the All-Star race, man. Worst case, right? The old adage, the old saying that got tossed around for years. Bring home the checkered flag or the steering wheel, right? You may as well at least try. May as well take a swing at it, give it a shot. Worst case, all right, maybe you miss the All-Star race. You get to have a night, watching the rest of it, or literally anything you want with your life on a Tuesday evening. The worst case is not very bad. Let's be honest.
Could be, a nice day to relax so the drivers can get, their heads ready for next race. Plus, they're not going to have their minds too confused with running the 110% horsepower.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, Chase Durham was talking about that. The mental mode, kind of switching back from 990 horsepower to 900 horsepower for the race next week. That could be an advantage, actually, to be out of this thing a little bit earlier and not be, screaming around this racetrack that much faster. But obviously, if you can make the All-Star race, you obviously want to. Let's be real. But Kyle Rochelle has lost the lead. Cody Smith chooses the outside lane. And here we go to the restart zone. Green flag is back out, and whoa! A wild start out of Cody Smith. There goes Housden on by them all. Rochelle's gonna spin. Christenberry spins. And a crash into turn 1. George, Ham, Andujar, Hernandez. The back of the field is wadded up.
All started just because of that little beginning incident, maybe just a little bit of wheel spin. I mean, that's just what happens when you have so much more horsepower than you're used to.
I didn't think it would be such a big deal for these guys, but I mean, the tape tells the story. Look at Wayne Sparks, throwing sparks. Nick Guylis.
Doesn't look like he has much tape on that 5.
I mean, it's like everybody got a piece of that. And Rochelle now, from dominating segment 1, I don't think he's making it.
Yeah, look at that. He's got a little dent on the bumper. It's also wiggling.
Here's the run into the restart zone. You see the 42 and 12 both got loose. And Rochelle just, car got upset. And really, he wasn't even that big of a part of the stuff in the back. It was a chain reaction, I think.
Yeah, they were all just trying to avoid him.
Well, here's the
Christenberry.
Here's the look from high above. Yeah, the number 11 of Christenberry, the Denny Hamlin looked like, was a big part of that. So Christenberry was all over. He was also on 2 tires, just trying to find grip. He ends up getting hit by Ham, and that's what does it. He was easy on the gas. Maybe we've learned something here. Maybe we've learned that 2 tires is not the way to go. Just for the restart's sake.
Yeah, and I mean, if you do go 2 tires, you're going to have to be a lot more gentle on them.
See, Christenberry here to turn 1. He lifted for the crash ahead. Ham runs him over, and that's how this all happens behind the 12 car. Honestly, if not for the 88 getting the 11, we might still be green. It really comes down to this.
It's just an unfortunate incident, but she's just racing.
A handful of drivers in the pit lane now under this caution. There's Joseph Andujar in the 07, Jake Christenberry in the number 11, Matthew George in the 25. There's Nick Gillis. Let's see, Kyle Rochelle also in the pits. Wayne Sparks. And Caden Henry Oaks took to the pit lane. Oh, man, that is so unfortunate. I thought he was good to go. I would have stayed out. I don't think he had that much damage.
It didn't look too bad, but maybe, right, we know he was on the 2 tires. Maybe he looked, he saw those other guys on 2 tires go around, and he ended up thinking, right, you know, I don't want that to happen to me.
Perhaps, as Cody Smith leads us. Actually, no, Ryan Housden got the lead out of that before the caution came out, so Housden leads us around.
I mean, that's what happens when you know, get 90 horsepower added on. It's just unpredictable for these drivers.
And so we'll give this another shot. We have 1 lap completed, technically, out of 10 here in segment number 2. And 16 of the 18 cars that started this open are still in it. Christenberry and Sparks are the 2 that are out. So who's it going to be? The top 3 will transfer into the All-Star race. The top 3 at the line will be Housden, Smith, and Anderson. Then 1 fan vote driver and 1 random from the lead lap will get pulled in as well. So into the restart zone. Housden gonna lead us back around one of the first double foul restarts of the season. Second, I guess. Here we go. Let's try it again. 9 to go in the All-Star Open. Bad restart from Glajlich. Suddenly, Ronnie Norman's in a great spot here, Super. Look at him around the outside. He's going to have a run here at Cody Anderson. Maybe even at Cody Smith now to turn number 3. That 7 car was like 8th, I think, in segment 1. Here he is going for the top 5.
Yeah, especially he's going to have that advantage on the 42. We know 42 took 2 tires. And also look at Ballmer. Ballmer has made it. Like, we got 1 through the grass. I don't know who that was. Oh, man.
Caden again. Caden Henry Oaks in the 84. Well. Oh, in the wall. Cody Smith troubled on the backstretch. He's falling out of it. He is down to 6th. That's the 42 washed. There's no way he gets back to Housden, that's for sure.
And look who slides up into third now. It's Norman. We were just talking about him.
One of the coolest paint schemes to ever grace the number 20 on the inside there. The Madagascar, is Madagascar 1 or regardless? That's a cool one. But up front, Ryan Housden leading the way. Cody Anderson, Ronnie Norman, your top three. Those are transfer spots. And now Scav Nicky. Here comes the 38. Could he get up into a transfer spot? He's now racing with Kevin Baumler.
We've seen a few runs around the outside. Skavnicki looks really confident in it. He's going to get a little bit of aero block by Balmer, so he's going to dive down to the inside. Huge run. Trying to peek down the inside. Will at least get a nose down there. They go through four, side by side on the exit.
Glagelish is catching up a little bit to these two. But your top three driving away inside of 5 to go here in the All-Star Open. Here's the battle for second place. These guys got to sort this out nice and calmly. They do not want to slow each other down and allow fourth and fifth to catch. That would be Baumler and Skavnicki and Glagelish now for that matter. Keep this orderly between you, and I think you're all in the All-Star, at least between these two. There's these three, I guess, leading the race. Skavnicki trading spots now with Glagelish into turn number 1. Fulham and Smith do battle into turn 1.
A little loose on the exit.
Yeah, he was free there, on board. Bit of a run off the corner, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And up front, look at this. Ronnie Norman trying to find a way by Cody Anderson. He had that fastest lap a few minutes ago, a couple laps ago.
He looks good if he can make it to the All-Star.
I think he's kind of a threat, honestly.
A little dark horse action.
For sure. Ryan Housden, 2 to go in the All-Star Open. Can he win this thing and put the number 15 in the All-Star race? It's looking good. Anderson behind, then Norman. Glagelish now gets ahead of Kevin Baumler. Baumler into the wall. Skavnicki pulls up. Now these guys do have to pass, quote, tech. They have to prove their setup adjustments were within the limits of tire pressures only. I think we've mentioned that. Honestly, it's gotten away from me. As that's going to check up Housden. Matthew George stayed low. Housden gets checked up. Now the top three's wide open. I think they're going to hold form, though. Housden, Anderson, Norman around the final corner to the start-finish line. The run to the flag stand will cement these three in the All-Star race so long as they pass tech. The procedure now is those three need to pull down to pit lane and screen share with admins to prove their setup was within legal bounds. Again, all they can adjust is tire pressures. They can't touch anything else with a suspension, tape, anything like that. All they can do is touch tire pressures, and they can only go up or down by 2.5 psi, a range total of 5 psi they can work with. And so I'd imagine they'll pull probably 4th and 5th as well, just in case we have any DQs out of the top three. But as it stands, Housden, Anderson, and Norman would move on into the All-Star race. Glagelish going to pull in line. Baumler going to pull in line. Now then, of course, we got to figure out who the All-Star vote, or the fan vote winner is here in a moment.
Yeah, and, you know, if you remember, right, they're fighting really hard for 4th, right? And if any of these top three get, you know, kicked out, that, right, that battle for what seemed like nothing for 4th is suddenly a whole lot more valuable.
Well, let's wait and see. We have gotten word of the random from the lead lap and the fan votes. We will leave that be. Ryan Housden has escaped. I'm going to assume that's good news. I certainly expect everybody to pass tech, right? I mean, that, I wouldn't expect anybody to be up to any funny business here, but time will tell. As we await word from the admins. What I can tell you is we are quickly going to switch over to the All-Star Race session. While we wait, picks, of course, are closed for tonight, but there are going to be plenty of drop weeks to keep you in, so even if you've not yet joined the Whiplash Fantasy game over in the Pit Stop TV Discord, you can still do so. There is at least a die-cast stand put up by TZO Designs, plus a 1/24th scale die-cast of my choosing. I hit up the occasional antique mall around the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Did so actually just last week in Hickory, so found a new die-cast that I was not expecting to find there, that's for sure. It was a 3 Doors Down. It's actually in the NORA Discord, but it's a 3 Doors Down Tony Stewart number 8 from the Nationwide series, or I guess Bush series at the time. O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Yeah,
won't lie.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it looks like the top 3 have now left their cars. I'm assuming they're all clear in post-race tech. We've not heard yet. But you can use this Discord link at the bottom of the graphic on your screen currently to join the Pit Stop TV Discord. If you have any issues, reach out to us. But you can get in, start making picks, not only for NORA, but also for BRB and everything else we cover that is doing fantasy games. We only have the 3 right now, BRB, NORA, and AARN on Sundays, but we're looking to add more as time goes on. I know there's much going on, as we've actually gotten our top 3 drivers now in post-race. I assume you guys are clear, Ryan?
I cleared. I'm pretty sure the guys behind me cleared too.
Well, how about it? You've just won the All-Star Open to get into the All-Star race tonight. That's gotta make you feel pretty good, not only for tonight's All-Star, but also for Charlotte next week. I know, it's gonna be different with tire pressures and engine power and stuff, but it's still gotta be a boost to the confidence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Charlotte's one of my best tracks in the Gen 4, so felt good coming into this one. I'm feeling good coming out of it.
And of course, we're all kind of learning right now with this format and how this is all going to go the rest of the night. But it's a shame, of course, not to have all of you guys partake in the All-Star qualifying, but this is maybe one step closer to getting that win, to be in the big show from the get-go next year. So I guess moving forward, what have you learned from tonight to, I guess, help get you closer to that win so you are doing the qualifying procedure we saw a little bit ago?
I think just kind of keep doing what I've been doing. I've been putting myself in good spots and having, some fluky stuff happen at the end of these races that's kind of hurt the chances to win. But I think if I just, stay confident and keep running the races that I've been running, eventually the brakes will start going my way. And tonight they did, especially on that second to last restart. And just keep doing it.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. It seemed like a lot of wheel spin, maybe, with this extra 10% horsepower.
Yeah, I noticed it the initial start of the race. I spun him a little bit. Calvin spun him a little bit in front of me. So I knew coming for that restart, guys were going to be aggressive on it. And I just was patient. Cody in front of me, he spun him and just kind of went down. I had a clear sight in front of me, so I just gunned it, trying to hope to avoid whatever crap was going to happen with all the wheel spin. So it worked out pretty good.
Now, I know there's been a lot of rumbling as far as, being able to add this horsepower now and take weight away from cars and such all across the iRacing sim. Have you given any thought to it as far as doing that on a more permanent basis? Would you want to? Would you not want to?
I mean, I look at it as like more power just kind of gives more agency to the drivers, makes the cars just that much harder to drive. I think when a car is harder to drive, there's a little more skill expression. And I think like there's always the chance that maybe some guys can't handle extra power and there's some extra cautions. But I think if you give it time, people will adjust. And I think overall, I think it's more fun to drive a car that's got a little more power. So I'm hoping we change, but I'm kind of in the middle of it. I'm not pushing super hard for it.
Well, we're going to take a look and I guess talk to the other two drivers here in the top three. But Ryan, congratulations on winning this All-Star Open and making it into the All-Star race tonight. Hopefully we're talking to you in 90 laps.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm going to try my heart out, and thanks, Mom and Dad, for watching back home. Finally put one in victory lane for them.
I saw the name Jim Hauser to the YouTube chat. I think they're pretty happy for you. So
yeah,
you've got some fans behind you.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
That's Ryan Housden in the number 15. Let's go on down to grab Cody Anderson real quick. We'll even get Ronnie if we can. But Cody, second place in the Open. Obviously, would like to be a spot higher, but you're in. That right? That's what matters. You're into the All-Star race.
Yeah, definitely. Win's always nice, but tonight a win doesn't matter to move on. So second place is good enough, and we're in the show.
And what do we think of this all-star package? The extra horsepower, the ability to change some tire pressures. I mean, how much testing went in? I mean, do you have a plan as far as the tire pressures, even for the all-star now that you're in it?
Not really. I played with some a little bit during practice before the Open, and I don't know if I noticed a big difference. It took me a while to realize everybody was running in qualifying tape because I thought I was slow as hell, but was able to figure that out. But the power is kind of nice. Ronnie and I were actually talking about it just a few seconds ago, and seemed like when you go from second to third is when you really notice it, and it was obviously relevant on that restart. It seemed like everybody had the same issue, just wasn't expecting that. So definitely keep that in the back of the mind on this next one, and just try to keep all four straight.
And of course, the fan vote would have been nice to have, right? But kind of a good thing that you don't have to rely on that, I think. That you don't have to fall back on your fans.
Yeah, probably my one fan that I have. Yeah, I wasn't really banking on that. I was banking on making it in the top two at least, and then when Josh disclosed that it was going to be the top three, I was like, okay, that's a little bit more insurance. But it's nice to move on with the ability to do it on your own. So happy about that.
And we saw the 2-tire calls for a handful of guys, but all three of you that went top three to advance, 4 tires. Do you think that's going to be the theme for the night?
I think so. I mean, it really showed, like on that last restart, like Cody started in front of me on 2 tires and was able to make pretty quick work with him. When he got high, you can just gas up in the center of the corner a lot quicker than guys on 2 tires. So I think that added power kind of wore out the tires a little bit too, because I could really tell going into the corner, I was kind of pushing them a little too hard on the right front, but then was really doing it off the corner when going full throttle, and Cody was able to get right by me with about 1 to go in that first segment. So I think you just gotta be mindful of that, and I think 4 tires are going to be the way to go. So even if you can stay in a 10-lap stretch, 4 tires played out to the advantage.
Well, Cody, it's good to chat with you, and congratulations again on making the top 3, making it into the All-Star race. And we'll be announcing the fan vote and stuff here shortly, but I guess you can take solace in the fact that you're starting in front of them, and they get to go chase the best guys in the series. Best of luck.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Cody Anderson making it into tonight's All-Star race here for the NORA Retro Cup Series. Let's bring in Ronnie Norman and chat with driver number 7, who also makes it in. And Ronnie, I kind of feel like you're already a dark horse kind of pick for this. You've had a lot of speed on the intermediates this season, certainly can race with the best in the series, but lately coming up a little bit short on the NORA side. You got the dual win on the BRB side. It's like you've been making some headlines lately. This is just the latest of them. You skate on by with the 3rd place finish in the Open. How pumped are you for this All-Star race?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Honestly, I came in here unprepared. I didn't even realize it was top 3. I was just kind of racing, doing my own thing. So, kind of figuring out, like, they took the top 3. So that's cool to find out. I don't know, just came here to race, not really trying to put any pressure on myself, just to make it in. So, I guess we got the job done. Didn't have to worry about a fan vote or anything else. So, excited to go race another 90-some laps here with the boys and see what we can do with them.
And the buzz has been this package for this race where doing what I've been told is kind of a custom fixed setup by Josh Conover, so you guys can adjust tire pressures, but also 110% horsepower. That was a recent change made by iRacing to allow us to add horsepower. Usually, it's just been that you can take horsepower away. I think it was like 5 or 7.5%, so this is a pretty big swing to just toss in 90 extra horsepower to these cars. What's it like out there?
Well, I'm sure you got a little bit of a scenic view there on that restart. I mean, that's the first time I think any of us has really had something like that with them taking 2 tires up front. Luckily, I took 4. I was going 4 tires all the way. Don't trust myself with 2, especially with this extra horsepower that we do have with that run we had. So, yeah, no, I mean, I don't really know if I can say the only thing I did notice was when you shifted, it sounded different, but I'm not going to say I noticed a big difference in anything else. I was basically just trying to watch my tire pressures and seeing how bad I was wearing out the right sides. I think being able to adjust the tire pressure, though, kind of helped kind of even it out possibly. But yeah, no, it'd be exciting to see here with this main all-star race with how everybody does with it. But I'm not too big on who, what, if it's good, if it's bad. I'm sure everybody has their own opinions on it.
Obviously, there won't be too much that crosses from the notebook this week to next week, but it is still the same car, same track, same drivers. Is there anything you can take from anything that goes on tonight and apply it to next week's race?
Well, I feel like if you can run good here, definitely being able to try to get to that bottom line and hug it, or even multi-groove here, being a Charlotte, maybe it might make next week a little bit easier to drive. I don't know if that's the way to say it, with having less horsepower next week than we do this week. So maybe going into practice it might feel a little bit better. So. It's just like when you're on the batter's deck, you put the the heavy weight on doing practice swings, and then you take it off, and it feels like you're swinging nothing. So maybe that might be the way it feels, maybe not. But hopefully we can get a good run here. Just see how the tire pressures, how bad they wear, and then yeah, like I said, just kind of take that into next week and go about it.
Ronnie, it's good to talk to you as always. Congratulations on making it into the All-Star race tonight, and best of luck.
Yep, thank you. We'll see what we can do here. We'll just maybe you might have to throw some Hail Marys there for you to late race caution, so it might get hectic.
Should be fun. Ronnie Norman makes it into tonight's All-Star race. Thank you, Ronnie. And as far as the fan vote and the extra that is being moved in, the random from the lead lap, I can tell you the random driver is going to be Joseph Andujar III. So the number 07, who finished 10th in that race, will be moving on into the All-Star race, and that's obviously great for him. That was not expected at all. And then the All-Star, the fan vote actually saves 2 guys that we talked a good bit about. And yes, I said 2. The fan vote has been extended to 2 drivers because there was a tie, Super. So we are taking not just the fan vote winner, but also the runner-up technically, because they tied, same amount of votes. And those are going to be Kevin Baumler and Wayne Sparks. How about that? Wayne Sparks went, 18th in that open, out early. In fact, dead last of the drivers that started the race. And then Kevin Baumler, of course, we saw him come up short, 5th place there in the open after, I guess, just burning his tires up.
Yeah, I'm a little excited to see Baumler, I will admit. Kind of selfishly, I did pick him. But, Wayne... Wayne, he was doing really good until he was involved in that, incident on the restart. I think both of them, I think they're going to have a good race, and I feel like both of them were honestly deserving picks of the fan vote.
And boy, I really shot myself in the foot for fantasy this week. I took Cody Smith for the All-Star race as the open driver that I thought would transfer in. And boy, that is not ideal. He's not in the All-Star tonight. He is out. But guys who did pick a driver that moved on into the All-Star tonight, let's go through. So Kyle Rochelle, he picked nobody actually. I don't think he meant to do that, but Kevin Baumler, let's see. Well, actually, Brady Motes picked Kevin Baumler. You picked Kevin Baumler. Kevin Baumler picked Ryan Housden, who does advance. Rusty Rafferty picked Kevin Baumler. John Skavnicki picked Ryan Housden. Josh Conover picked Calvin Baumler. LJ Hernandez did pick Cody Smith. He kind of went the same route that I went, interestingly. I actually think his picks are almost the exact same as mine. Almost. That's okay. Moving on down, Greg Thillison, or no, actually, Ronnie Norman picked Ryan Housden. Greg Thillison picked Calvin Baumler. Chase Durheim did pick Cody Smith. Jordan White picked Noah Blackwell, as did Chris Winstone. So there's a few of us that have nobody in the All-Star for our third group pick, I guess. But man, that stinks. The way it goes.
Yeah. I mean, Cody Smith, you know, he was looking good at least.
Yeah. With the 2-tire stop, I thought he would have held on a little bit longer, but it just was not meant to be for Cody Smith today. He will not make the All-Star race. And LJ Hernandez didn't mean to copy me. Hey, that's all right. Great minds think alike. Unfortunately, we weren't thinking the right way. But hey, you know, that's part of it. That's fantasy gaming. That's how it goes. And I'm so excited to see how this goes over the course of the season. Not to, you know, boast or anything, but I'm leading the group as far as the NASCAR Cup Series league goes for this Whiplash Fantasy thing, but I can't figure it out in the leagues for some reason. Here on Pit Stop TV, I am not having good luck in that way, but drivers are into the race session now, and we've been notified that we have had a driver lose power, so we're kind of moving a little bit slowly here, trying to get him in. Unfortunately, it's going to be Chase Durheim, who went and set pole time in All-Star qualifying, that has lost power here and may not make the race. We're trying to give him a little bit of time, just in case he can still get in, but he's just without power and unsure as to why. So, unfortunately, we might not have a pole sitter in the race tonight.
Yeah, that's just really unfortunate for him. If he can get in time, though, he's definitely one of the favorites. He is super strong in qualifying. If he is able to get in time, I would make sure you really keep an eye on that number 16.
And Jacob Gladulus letting us know he's going to run the Madagascar paint next week as well. That's good. That's good to know. Very good paint scheme. Very good looking race car. And Winstone, yeah, unfortunately, Blackwell did not even race tonight, so he is not in the All-Star. That's okay. I'm in a similar boat, so we'll move on and see how the evening goes. Of course, there is more than just this race happening this week on Pit Stop TV. To look at what's upcoming for us across the channel, here we go. Next up is actually this Thursday evening with the North American Racing League heading out to VIR once again. Second week straight, of course. We had pros there last week, amateur drivers there this week. Chris Winstone, who's in YouTube chat now, he'll be joining me for this race as per usual. It should be a lot of fun. VIR is always a great place to race, and that Amfield has got a lot of great storylines. It'll be a lot of fun to talk about. And then Friday evening, it's the return of the Steering Wheel Nation Truck Series as they head out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway on May the 1st. And then Sunday, May 3rd, we go road course racing with the All-American Racing Network at Watkins Glen. And hey, Chris Winstone, speaking of the guy, he's going to be in that race. He has made the switch not just from GT3 cars, not just from sports cars. He has now become a broadcaster here at Pit Stop TV. He's now going to be one of our drivers at Whiplash Racing, racing in the All-American Racing Network Next Gen Cup Series. That's going to be a lot of fun. He's already working with Jordan White and Coulter Clark to get him up to speed and just find speed in general. Get ready for this race on Sunday morning. So I am excited. As Chris apparently had to learn how to downshift. You know what? If you don't know from sports cars, you go from the sequential gearboxes, even the Mazda's now sequential. So you go from sequential, you know, your whole way through road racing to it is still a sequential gearbox in the Cup car, but you've got a blip on the downshifts as opposed to just not doing anything, just hitting the paddle. So that can be a learning curve, I suppose, but you can catch all these broadcasts and more all across all social media platforms here at Pit Stop TV. 5 minutes to go in warm-up here, and drivers are getting their times in. I find it so interesting, Super, that Kevin Baumler struggled in that open race because, wouldn't you know it, he's right back on top here. Well, he was up top here in this warm-up session for the All-Star race. Dalton Tucker now on top of that number 3. We aren't doing a best in show tonight, but man, I wish we were just for this.
I mean, it'd be a little unfair to the other drivers, though, because it's a shoe-in for them.
It would be. I mean, Kevin Baumler's got a good-looking one. I do like this car a lot. The Kraft 100-year celebration Chevrolet there, and there you see Cody Anderson and his typical paint. I do like what Dustin Kleba has done here as well. This is a good-looking race car. Again, kind of a mock spoof, if you will, of what Casey Kane raced in the mid-2000s for Evernham Racing. Instead of Dodge colors, though, Ford colors and logos. So, pretty cool. There's Hunter Sr. His paint scheme has magically changed. They rewrapped the car. I guess they felt so bad about the qualifying run earlier, they went and got a whole different car out for the All-Star race tonight. There's Ronnie Norman, Cody Reeder back on the racetrack. There's Jared Skinner, Brian Jones in the 45, Vincent Arthur in the 24, Wayne Sparks out there in the 5, Josh Conover on, well, in pit lane. Joseph Andujar in the 07. He's made it into tonight's race. And Brady Motes is on the racetrack. Ryan Housden is loading in. And then, again, unfortunately, it seems we may not have Chase Durheim here tonight. And there you get some of the info as we see a massive accident into turn 1 from these couple of guys. But there you see some of the info from our admins about tonight's race. So, Josh Conover popping in, letting us know, of course, segment 1 is a 40-lap segment with a mandatory 4-tire pit stop under green within a 3-lap window. I'm surprised by that, actually. And then we will invert anywhere from 6 to 12 cars, and then we run a 30-lap segment followed by a 20-lap segment. So there you see stage 1 pit on our race details. Stage 1 invert as well. 6 to 12 cars. And look at that. Night has befallen the Speedway.
It sure didn't take long for it to go from bright sunny to dark night.
It happened in a hurry. But, boy oh boy. So, I guess, Josh, if you're able to confirm, is that just under... When exactly do the pit stops have to be made in segment 1? I thought they could just do it whenever they wanted in the first segment. I guess we'll find out here shortly. The pit window is between laps 22 and 25. Good to know. So we know when they'll be pitting, but they have their options. That's good. All right, that works. Well, let's go ahead and meet your ATVO starting grid on pole this evening. Since we do not have Chase Durheim, unfortunately, his power is out. That puts the number 3 on pole. How about Dalton Tucker going to roll off first alongside Josh Conover? Hate that for Chase Durheim, but we're still going to have a great 15-car race here as Vincent Arthur will roll off third alongside Cody Reeder. Brian Jones and Brady Motes, 5th and 6th. And to complete your first half of the field, how about Jared Skinner and Dustin Kleba? On back to Hunter Sr. and Ryan Housden, your top 10. Housden, the first of the drivers to transfer in from the Open. Anderson and Norman complete your top 3 that transferred in. It was Baumler and Sparks for the fan vote. And then back in row number 8 all on his own, how about Joseph Andujar III? He makes it into tonight's All-Star race as well. Super. It's been a lot of fun just getting to this point. But who have you got for tonight's All-Star race win?
I feel like I got to give it to Khan over here, right? I mean, he had a pretty good qualifying session, all things, considered. Just slightly under a 10 behind pole sitter Dalton Tucker. And you got to remember, again, his engine went out. in the middle of his qualifying lap. He was going to have a great lap. We know he's got speed. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can pull off. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm thinking of Moats, actually.
Yeah, it was Modes who had the engine failure. That's okay.
I saw an 8 and I got confused.
We're still going to have a really fun All-Star race tonight, I think. And yeah, unfortunately, Chase Durheim not able to make it. But, boy, oh boy, oh boy, this is going to be a lot of fun. Dalton Tucker rolling off first. I think we've gone through everything there is to go through as well. I think we've hit every note getting ready for this race. That's unlike us. We usually are trying to hit something still as we go green, but tonight it's simple. 15 drivers, 90 laps, a couple of segments to go through. That pit stop here in segment 1. Gonna be a lot of fun. And so as the field gets ready, I believe we just have the 1 pace stop. We might have 2. We will tentatively wait on the iRacing.com safety car to pull down to the relative safety of pit lane, though. And out of turn 4, we will hold. We are not racing just yet. So I want to hear from all of you watching. You're watching along tonight, even if you're in this race and you're watching along. Who do you think is going to win this race? Go ahead and you can flip over and type in 2 numbers real quick and hit enter to pick your driver. Who do you think wins this race? Again, Dalton Tucker, Josh Conover, Vincent Arthur, Cody Reeder, Brian Jones, Brady Moats, Jared Skinner, Dustin Kleva, Hunter Sr., Ryan Housden, Cody Anderson, Ronnie Norman, Calvin Baumler, Wayne Sparks, and Joseph Andujar. And to compare as far as where they are in the standings, for example, Dalton Tucker, he's had a couple of wins. Maybe not as high as he should be in the standings. 4th place, though, doing great for himself. Josh Conover, 2nd in the standings. He has that win from Darlington now. Vincent Arthur, a season he's wanted to forget, but he is in chase contention, currently in the top 10. Cody Reeder, not even on this graphic. He hasn't raced every single race this season. He's been kind of hit or miss. Brian Jones, though, he's in the chase currently. Brady Moats still in the hunt to try and make it. Jared Skinner as well. He has that win from California. Dustin Kleva, he's got a couple wins. He won most recently last week at Richmond. And so here we go. 90 laps. Segment 1 will go for 40 with a mandatory 4-tire pit stop under green between laps 22 and 25 into the start zone. Dalton Tucker going to lead us to the green for the 2026 NORA Retro Cup Series All-Star Race, brought to you by Harpoon Design. Already problems on the start. We stay green. It was Jared Skinner around to the front stretch. Turn 3 and the 3 and 24 are side by side.
2 iconic numbers in motorsports, 1 and 2 in a race to celebrate the icons. Looks like Arthur will lead that lap. He's got that run on the outside.
Vincent Arthur right around the outside of Dalton Tucker, making it look easy. Remember, these guys have 110% horsepower. 990 horses under the hood, and already I feel like 3 of the best drivers in this series are out front. Arthur, Tucker, Jones. I consider them to be, I think, the 3 best drivers, straight up drivers in this series.
It's a lot of horses.
We need a very large stable to house that many. Josh Conover 3 wide, cleave it down low. Brady Moats underneath as well. That was hairy.
Yeah, you already see a lot of drivers really anxious to make moves. We saw in the All-Star Open, the tire wear can go away like that, right? We could see a few drivers just trying to get some track position for when that tire wear starts to kick in. You know, they want to be able to at least try to hold on, as there's a new fastest lap.
There was some sparks at a turn 1, maybe some contact here as Brady Moats on the outside of Dustin Kleva. These guys are flying around here in the draft in excess of 200 miles per hour. Look at that dive, though, out of Moats into turn 3 to get to the inside of Josh Conover. That was heads up.
2 abreast. they enter turn 1. Going to be able to get clear of them as Hanover, a little bit of a slip. He's going to try and get the run now, peeking down to the inside, trying to take it with them. Big run. Now transitioning to the inside. Too wide for 2 lanes. And it looks like most will get the spot.
I really think this extra power is doing something for these guys. Look at Kleba. He's barely hanging on in that 9 car. I really think this extra horsepower is making a difference. And when we get back around to the I guess 450 next week, I think it's going to be a very different race for points. I mean, these guys are cooking around here 29.2, 29.3 at race pace. I wonder how much faster that is versus a typical race lap in this car.
Tell you what, it's probably about 10% faster.
I like it. Let's watch Conover here on board. Still very early in this all-star race. There goes Kleba on the outside. Back on power. Already 183 by the time he hits the flat of the straightaway. 198 into the corner as he's getting passed by Cody Reeder. I mean, these guys are screaming around this racetrack. In fact, let's take this again. Well, he's in the wall. There goes Norman underneath him. Let's see what Norman pulls into turn 1 here. Buck 99 as he grabs the wall. They are ripping.
Now, we saw Ballmer, right? He was slipping, or no, not Ballmer. We saw, right, in the open, right, the man who started on pole slipped. Conover, right, he was up there in second. Right, it looked like he had a little bit of wheel spin. Do you think that maybe the wheel spin on these restarts is what's killing these drivers in the front?
Honestly, I don't know. We know so little about how this race is actually going to go tonight. I don't want to make too many guesses as Brady Moats, I think, gets in the left rear there of Brian Jones. This is a good little fight, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Jones and Kleba, their teammates, they've each got a couple of wins this season. Well, I guess Jones has 1 and Kleba's got 2. Brady Moats in the middle, he has had an abysmal start to this season. He's just trying to get on the board.
And despite the fact that there's no points here, it'd be a really nice momentum swing. He's trying to find his way up into 3rd, right behind Jones. Right, there's plenty of this race to go. You got to be patient.
Moats pointed that car low, hit the apron, fired right back up in front of Kleba. That's such a cool shot, I feel like. Out the window, looking back at the right side. You see the stands in the background. You see Kleba up top. I really like this camera perspective.
As you see that big run on the outside. Look at that.
Brady Moats has been a lot of fun to watch so far. I know that the paint scheme isn't all that exciting, just the straight up red Bud number 8, but you know what? That is so nostalgic, so memory inducing for me as a lifelong Dale Jr. fan growing up. Man, that was the car I always looked for every week on the TV. And well, Moats is starting to get passed up. As soon as he was going forward, as soon as I thought we had something as far as comers and goers here, Super, he's starting to fall back and look a little more human. Cody Reeder to the inside.
I mean, you were saying it earlier. So much unpredictability in this race with those 90 extra horses under the hood. Right, we don't know anything. Right, we're just taking our best guess at these.
There's a lot of unknowns around this race as a whole as teammates now do battle for 4th and 5th. Here comes Moats back to the inside of Reeder. Moats, rather, back on that blue line on the inside. These guys, they are mixing it up big time. Whoa, watch out.
I was a little close there.
I'm not really even sure what just happened between them, but Moats got back ahead. There goes Reeder back through in turn number 2. And here comes Ronnie Norman now. He is the top of the drivers that advanced out of the open. Anderson will be next up, and then Housden back in 10th. But frankly, I think we need to pay attention to who does well in this first segment. I don't think we need to put too much stock in it, though, as there you see Vincent Arthur leading the way. in car 24. We need to pay attention to it for sure. I don't think this is going to dictate the rest of the night, though. We still have that 6 to 12 car invert. I could flip, I mean, 4/5 of the field. We could flip 80% of the field in one go after stage 1 here.
Yeah, and plus, right, we were, remember in that open, Rochelle ended up winning that first stage.
That's right.
Wasn't too good of a night for him after that. Not saying that'll happen here, but right, anything can happen with 990 horsepower.
I do think at some point we need to do a Sounds of the Sim. Do you think that time is now?
I think it is.
Let's do it. Pit Stop TV, Sounds of the Sim. Sit back and enjoy. Cody Reeder down through the grass. I wanted to go one more lap of Sounds of the Sim. Multiple cars now. That was Baumler and Hausen down through the grass. There's Reeder getting back on the racetrack. My goodness. That just shook everything up right as we approach the pit window. And look at the top two. Arthur and Tucker now within about a quarter second of one another. This could be an exciting little run to the pit stops. Again, they've got to make a 4-tire pit stop here in this segment under green between lap 22 and 25. That is coming right up.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're not going to see him speeding down at 160 like we were earlier, but it's probably for the best.
Maybe that's an idea for 06. Who knows?
It'd be a lot more fun for us.
I agree. I think that would be a lot of fun. Specifically for the green flag pit stop. No pit lane. No pit lane speed limit. That would be pretty cool. 1 lap now until the pit window opens. And they can choose anywhere within those 3 laps, to my understanding. That could be on 22, 23, 24, or 25. And this field has gotten pretty spread out now with those couple of incidents we saw in the front stretch. Let's see, actually, from the flag stand, everybody come by the camera this time by. So here's the line coming up. Here's Arthur and Tucker. Then Jones, Cleva and Moats, Conover, Anderson, Reeder, Norman, Baumler, Housden. There's Andujar, there's Senior, Skinner. That's the gap all the way back, and then Wayne Sparks is 21 seconds back. He's not even off of turns 3 and 4 yet. Here he is. But he's not having a great day at all right now. Here's your top 2. Here comes Arthur straight to the pits. Anybody else going to take this time? Jones comes in. Here comes Cleva. Here comes Reeder. Here comes Norman, Housden, and more.
Yeah, we were talking about it. This extra horsepower could be burning the tires, right? Maybe a couple of drivers are coming in a little bit worried about their tire wear, figuring they might just want to come in as soon as they can, try and get an undercut on those ahead.
And so we should see Dalton Tucker coming in this time. Oh, Moats around into the pit lane for the green flag stop. He'll get the car right at It's Baumler on the way in. Teammates making contact over this pit stop. There's Tucker now rolling down the pit lane. And let's see, here's Vincent Arthur back up off the pits. Oh,
is that everyone in the pits?
Gosh. I believe that's everybody, yeah. Well, no, Wayne Sparks kept going. The 5 car kept digging. He was last of the bunch. So I think he'll probably pit this time, maybe next time, who knows.
You got to lead a couple laps.
Yeah, get that lap lead, may as well. Get your time out in front. This segment's kind of a wash for him anyway. So far back, unfortunately. And so he will come in. Hunter Sr. now leaving the box. He's got a lot of damage on his right side. There goes Ronnie Norman. There's Brady Moats. He's got that damage. I think we've got just enough time here where we can warrant taking a replay of what happened to Brady Moats coming into the pit lane. So let's see it. He's racing with Josh Conover down the backstretch. Conover switches up, goes down low. Does Conover give him a shot, maybe? That'd be hilarious to me. Yeah, Conover actually does tip him. How about that?
Just a little snag right there.
Oh my gosh. Let's see the onboard from Conover's perspective. Here's Josh's look right up underneath the 8 car. Here they come around to the pit lane. Right up behind him, just taps him right there on pit entry, and around she goes.
Yeah, and it also held up, right, 33 behind.
Anderson and Baumler both. So some pit lane trouble for these guys in their green flag stop, and boy, things have changed for the lead. It was not a clean in and out for Dalton Tucker. Arthur still leads by 1.7 seconds back to Brian Jones. There is Jones, followed up by Tucker. Cleva in 4th, Reeder in 5th, and then Conover 6th and Norman 7th. And the funny thing about those two teammates, by the way, Conover and Moats, they're not teammates over here in NORA. They are friends. They're both admins, kind of the lead admins of the series, and they're teammates on Tuesday in BRB. So there's a lot to talk about between those two, and obviously it was completely accidental. Josh never would have tipped him around intentionally, but I don't think that's going to make it any easier to accept if you're Brady Moats.
You know, it's, I feel like, right, at least Moats can, you know, accept that it wasn't too bad for coming to the end of the stage here. I feel like that'll at least be a little refresher for him.
And will Brady be mad? I don't know. I mean, it's the All-Star race. Anything can happen, and frankly, I don't know that it's really affected his race too greatly. Sure, it's probably about 5 spots lower than he would have been otherwise, and he has that right front damage. But again, it's the All-Star race. To answer Jordan White in the YouTube chat, no, these guys are not racing for $1 million.
Come on.
I think last season they did 100 for the win, so we might be able to expect that kind of paycheck for these guys tonight, but not $1 million, that's for sure. There's a battle for second. And again, the invert will be at least 6 after this stage. So it could be. It could be 6, it could be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It could be any number between 6 and 12, at least 6. Here's a pass. Tucker to the inside. And he will shoot right by the 45, it looks like, of Brian Jones.
He's been one of the fastest all day. Holding on to that second. Jones not willing to give that spot up. He's going to dive to the inside while Tucker tries to stay high. It looks like Tucker might have that run, just pull away from Jones, and that is the case. It's been an Arthur and Tucker show all day. Well, actually all night, I should say.
I actually picked Brian to win this race, and I'm not giving up on my pick to win, but I am a little nervous with how good the 24 and the 3 car have been so far tonight. Especially the 24. The 3 looks human right now. The 24 does not. Vincent Arthur seems like he has this thing completely wrapped up, but I will say, these guys are catching him. They are actually making up time on Arthur right now, which is kind of an interesting note for not only this run as it goes on, but also what can we expect then next week when we go points racing? Is Arthur going to be weak on long run again there? It's the same track, same cars, but different power output and, you know, double the cars around the racetrack.
Yeah. I mean, this is just, you know, bringing up what was being talked about earlier. The horsepower, right, is, right, you could probably have some effect to these cars and their tire wear, right? Arthur did pit a lap earlier. I don't I don't know if one lap is this big of a difference or if Arthur is just. I don't know. It's maybe Tucker is just going as fast as he possibly can.
Of course, tire pressures are also an option for these guys, so that can certainly affect how well the car fires off or how it changes over the course of a run. And yeah, I would think general rule of thumb is you want to go lower, but maybe you want to put a little, an extra pound in the right front, maybe on a short run. And I think they can adjust that over the course of the race, so long as they don't stray too far from the original pressure. So watch out for that as the night goes on. I'm going to bring something up here as far as a lap time comparison between your top four, just to see where these guys are at right now. And there you see Arthur last lap a 29.75, and certainly a bit slower than Tucker's last lap, but about on par with Jones and Klebus. Really, the outlier right now is the 3.
He's really cruising.
He's still quite a bit faster than the rest of these guys, so he is running the 24 down just a little bit, and you bet that the 24 is watching that. Vincent is absolutely watching telemetry and watching the gap, and knows that Dalton is closing in, and there you see, he's switching lanes now. He goes high here in 3 and 4. That gives Tucker a little more dirty air in his line that he's been running, as here we go, 4 laps to go in stage segment 1. Tucker, though, still over a 10th faster that lap.
Yeah, and then remember, the same thing happened right before the pit stops. Tucker really reeled in Arthur. Could this be a sign of what might happen in the race? Like, when we get to the later stages.
The problem for Tucker, it's the All-Star race. It's all about just going out and being as fast as you can. It's not really about long-run pace. This is the longest run we'll see all night long. From here, it's a 30-lap segment number 2, and then a 20-lap segment 3. So you're not really banking on short-run pace the rest of the evening. So, sure, this is great for Dalton that he's catching Vincent now, but how applicable is this later on?
It's the question I feel like Tucker's probably, right? He's probably going to start asking himself soon. We see, again, he gained 0.2 of a second, just about.
About a 10th that lap, you can tell.
Slower.
As he gets closer to that 24, it's harder and harder to make up time. Arthur running high, Tucker low.
Actually lost a little bit on that corner, I think.
Now Arthur goes low, and Tucker has to go a little higher at the racetrack, trying to find grip. 1 lap to go in segment 1, this time by... Can the number 3 run down the 24? Boy, that question's been asked a lot over the years in NASCAR racing. Not so much these days, but certainly back in the 90s, that was a very popular question. Dalton Tucker going to have one more stab at it, I think, down here in turns 3 and 4. He goes low, tries to dive to the inside of Vincent Arthur. There's daylight, but not enough. And back around to the stripe to win segment 1. Arthur's loose. Drag race to the line. I think Tucker might have had it.
It was close. I think 7 milliseconds. At least that's what the board showed.
Wow.
Wow.
Let's see. Who pulls ahead on the backstretch? Arthur does. So Arthur had it at the time of caution, but we've got technology, Super. Let's go back. Let's run this back for a replay at the line. Let's slow it down. Oh, that's too slow. Let's watch this to the line. Passing the grass style from Tucker, honestly. And right there at the line, that's about as dead heat as it gets. That's incredible.
I think, yeah, it looks like Arthur's a little bit ahead.
Very slightly. Let's back this up again and watch them enter. So I want to see the margin closer to the actual line. Oh my gosh, let's that is as close as it gets.
Wow.
Let me actually see if I can do this live. It's always tricky to do. See if we can zoom in slightly. Get a slightly better perspective. How about that?
Wow.
We don't do live camera edits very often, but that'll work. That shows you, I mean, we're talking 4 inches of the race car. That is super close.
That's. I mean, maybe even less than that. Well, if that doesn't get you excited for the rest of this race, I don't know what does.
Yeah, and that's just not even the first half of the race complete. We still have 50 to go total. We actually seem to be counting caution laps, which I don't think was the intent, but that is the result at the very least here for this race, and that'll knock off a few laps each segment, which is going to tighten things up even more. So I think it puts the ball right back in Vincent Arthur's court a little bit more even. Here's the race off the pit lane. I believe it's mandatory. Field frozen. So they're going to pause here. That's what it's going to be. They're going to take a moment, pause, and release these guys here in a moment in order.
We've got in chat, apparently the invert is
that's
10
right. That's right.
From Connor.
I just connected those dots back up. We have the invert of 6 to 12, and the invert has been set at 10. I don't recall who was 10th at the time of caution. I'm going to go back on the tape and take a look.
Looks like I'm taking a look right now.
Looks like it might have been
I
Kevin
believe it was
Baumler.
Balmer. Yeah, I believe it was Balmer.
Norman's going to roll ahead. Baumler then after.
Barely over Moats.
Well, let's see if we can dial up the driver of the 24 quickly and see what he's got to say after that first segment or stage or whatever you want to call it. Let's dial him up and bring in Vincent Arthur, who wins the first segment here of this all-star race. Obviously a great event here, Vincent. It's been a lot of fun going through the qualifying procedure, the open race. Now we're into the all-star. You've just won that first segment by, I think, about as slim a margin as you could dream up. Did you even realize you had it across the line there?
I thought he had me. Just when he came off of turn 4 and got the side draft, I figured it was, over. But then once we hit the line, I saw the number 1 by my name still. I was like, all right, well, that's pretty cool. And then I looked at the margin and saw it was 2/1000th of a second. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty badass. So,
yeah,
Don came over the radio and said it reminded him some of Atlanta from 2001. So, I hope it was a really good show from the broadcast.
It absolutely was. Obviously, 90 extra horsepower under the hood tonight as well. That's been a big storyline tonight. What are your thoughts in the driver's seat on that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't make a massive difference at the big 1.5 miles, but I like it. You're lifting earlier into the corner. It's more punishing if you get back to the throttle too quick. So, all in all, I think more horsepower always makes for better racing. So I'm a fan of it.
Is this something you'd want to see in a points race, though?
100%. I mean, honestly, I've always been a proponent of just giving us more power, and then also we have the flexibility with a little bit of air pressure adjustment. So I've always been a huge fan of kind of the semi-fixed idea. It's never really been implemented in any league I've been in correctly, but I think what we got going here, has a pretty good chance of maybe getting voted into league next year, and I would very much enjoy that.
I know you and I both, obviously in very different ways, have each made our rounds around the short track scenes. Like, we're used to post-race tech in that respect, but never on iRacing. That was an oddity for me to have to say. We had to roll cars to tech after an iRace. That was a little different, but hey, best of luck here, Vincent. Hopefully we're talking to you here in about 45 more.
Yeah, hope to be talking to you again soon. Thanks, guys.
Vincent Arthur winning stage 1 here of the all-star race. I mean, that, again, super. That's about as classic NASCAR exciting as you can get. Literally, I think about as close of a margin as you can have. Obviously, yes, you can technically get it closer than 2/1000ths, but man, that's as close as you could dream up at least. So we're going to invert the top 10 and try this all over again. And this is where this race gets interesting, right? We flip these guys around, and now they've got to work through traffic. We don't have to stop in this 30-lap segment. A caution would be the only thing that would change things up. Otherwise, it's a straight, 25-lap run now to the next caution. Kevin Baumler has looked a little bit anemic on long runs all night, unfortunately, in that 81 car, but let's see what he can do alongside Ryan Housden, who won the All-Star Open just a little bit ago. Into the restart zone. Kevin Baumler, Ryan Housden, Cody Reeder, Cody Anderson, Dustin Kleva, Josh Conover. Green flag again in the All-Star race. Back up through the gears very quickly into fourth. All 15 drivers still in it, side by side for second. Anderson and Housden as they roll through turns 3 and 4. And look at Arthur up top, 3 wide.
Really trying to get back there, fighting with Conover. He's got Jones right ahead, so we know, at least from the first stage, he was really fast at the beginning, but he started to trail off at the end. He might know that. We might be seeing him try to push a little extra hard to get back up there for when that fall off does occur. We've got 3 wide in the back.
Right behind this guy, Vincent Arthur to the inside of Brian Jones. But look at this. Conover, Moats, and Senior 3 wide across the stripe. Senior in the wall. That's going to pull that 4 car back along with the 48. Now Norman looks to the inside. Moats gets ahead of him. And here comes Dalton Tucker to the inside of Dustin Kleva. This for 5th.
Tucker wasting no time to catch back up after the stage and was second. He was the fastest for a fair amount of the race. If he can get up there in the lead, I think he's gone by the end of the stage.
Getting to the lead, though, that's going to be a challenge. We've talked about how difficult it is to pass in these cars all season long. Side by side, turns 3 and 4 again. The 3 and 9 car. The 3 in the basement, the 9 in the attic. And Kleva has a spot that time across the stripe. Out front, Kevin Baumler still leading, but not by a whole lot. Cody Anderson right in his mirror. I'll tell you what, though, this is a much better run so far in this segment than we've seen all night out of Kevin. He had great pace to start the Open, and it quickly fell away.
Yeah, right. He was able to get in through the boat, which I'm very, very... I'm a big fan of that. Considering I picked him for my fantasy team, but right, he was still up there in the Open for a reason. He's trying to show it right now, trying to, disprove any doubt that might come to mind when you saw him lose a bunch of spots. And tell you what, he's doing a great job of it, holding off Anderson.
Again,
it's a really nice showing for him.
These guys are racing to the completion of lap 70 right now. So that is now 19 to go for these drivers. Battle for 5th. Tucker back to the inside of Kleva. He's got the spot now. He washes up, though, in the dirty air behind the 19 of Reeder. That dirty air making it so tough on these guys. That's the idea, though, right? You want it to be somewhat tough to pass. Like, sometimes maybe it's a little bit too difficult in this car, but regardless, it makes for some great racing and some great broadcasting here on Pit Stop T. There's been a lot of fun all night long, and it's continuing to stay super exciting at the front of the field even. Anderson goes up top here in turn 1. Baumler down low. Housden down low. And if we go back to those weather conditions, these guys are watching that as Anderson grabs the wall. The track isn't really cooling off yet. It's still holding some temperature. You see partly cloudy skies. It's going to hold the temperature on the track too. So the track's not really cooling off too much just yet.
Yeah, as I believe it did. I believe it went up a tick right there. It went from 74 to 75 as we've had it pulled up. That's going to be interesting. These drivers might be trying to focus on that a little bit.
And how about this? Josh Conover is down to 14th position. What is going on for the driver of the 48? These guys have plenty of tire sets. No reason really to save any tires in this race. This is not ideal whatsoever for the 48 car.
I think he might have got hit with the super curse when I told him that I thought he could win. I do find that a lot of the stuff I say goes the complete opposite. And it might have been on me.
Well, hopefully it gets turned around soon for that 48 car. Meanwhile, side by side between Norman and Sparks. Contact there across the line. And battle for the lead. Anderson to the inside of Baumler on the front stretch. Has the nose ahead through 1 and 2. And he clears him out of turn 2. So a change for the lead. Anderson now out front.
Yeah. Felt like it was coming a little bit.
Tucker through to fourth in the background. And Baumler, he's going to drop to third. There goes Housden. So Baumler will soon be Dalton Tucker fodder, if you will, as that 3 car tries to come back through the field.
He looks like a man on a mission. He is just storming through driver after driver.
Leva had a little bobble there off of turn 2. Here's the onboard of him now. Again, listen to these guys. Pick the throttle back up. Still really soon. See the handwork.
Yeah, and look how fast the RPM shoots up.
We're over 10 laps into this run. We're still just about 200 on entry. That is so fast here.
You can see he's fighting it too. You see the little twitches in his hands, the Sunny Hayes method.
I mean, think about it, right? When we bring cup cars here now, or even, heck, O'Reilly's cars, trucks, I mean, they're only going, $180, $190 to the corner. We're adding 10 miles per hour to that every single lap. We're still hitting nearly 200, 15 laps into a run. These guys are really booking around here. I know Vincent said it doesn't feel like it's that much different as there goes Tucker on by Baumler. But let's be honest here. You're going down the straightaway even faster. You've got a lift suited for the corner. You got to wait that little bit longer to pick up the throttle. Everything's happening faster. It might not be noticeable, but things are different for these guys. And I'm glad we talked about it earlier. The muscle memory that's going to change between tonight and next week's race, the points race here at Charlotte. That's going to be completely different for these guys. They got to relearn the racetrack all over again.
Yeah, and right. Those drivers that may have been eliminated in the open at least get to have the fact, right? They at least get to be like, all right, I won't be as muscle memoried in for next week.
On board, Ryan Housden. These guys are starting to struggle with these cars. Just inside of 10 laps to go here in stage number 2. By the way, everybody in this field right now, except for one, is under a 4-second blanket. The only driver off pace right now is Joseph Andujar, unfortunately. And, it's good to see him in the league. It's good to see him here this season. I think he's maybe just not had enough time to get up to speed with this car, with the new power adjustment for this race. But Joseph, I know him from way back when, the NASCAR Monday Night Thunder series that migrated from Xbox 360, if you can believe it, onto iRacing back around 2015, 2016. And I got into that series late 2016, did my first start at Homestead in the finale. So I met David Levine and made the connections that I needed to get to North Carolina to chase a dream in motorsports. Well, that league was also run by Joseph Andujar. He ran that one, I think, in 2017 and 18. And I hadn't heard the name since probably 18 or 19. We start doing this race, the season opener back at Daytona this season, and I see Andujar on the entry list. Hey, that's a blast in the past. You don't come across those names all that often. You just haven't seen for 7-8 years. Regardless, it's good to see Joseph in the All-Star race tonight, as we have a battle for second, and predictably, Dalton Tucker sails right on by Ryan Housden. Again,
as I mentioned, a man on a mission. He does have to pass the leader, though. He does have some time to do it, and if he's going to continue the pace he's been on, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets them. Coming now to about, what's that, 6 laps to go now? 5 laps to go? 6, I think.
And Brian Jones right now nowhere to be found. He is down in 8th spot. just buried in the traffic. Here's your top 4 lap times the last lap. Anderson and Tucker, Houston and Baumler. Tucker, boy, he's far and away better right now.
Might have to check him for a post-race inspection.
Yeah, that's actually a headline now. Again, it is so strange, but so cool. There we go. Tucker onto Anderson. Anderson goes high in 1 and 2. Here comes Houston down low. We're making a race out of it, guys, and Tucker checks up. Arthur's still in the background. He is down in 6th spot. He has just passed Dustin Kleba. Kleba now into 7th. Jones in 8th. Senior in 9th. Skinner in 10th. And here we go. 4 laps to go for Dalton Tucker to try and pass the 33 car. There's no real bonus, as far as I'm aware, for winning this stage. So he doesn't necessarily have to make this pass. Obviously, he would love to. But he's probably, if I had to guess, probably confident enough that when we go back green, he can get this spot. So how much do you really need to hustle a car and you know, risk a crash?
That evaluation that all these drivers need to be considering. How worth it is it? As now we see battle for 4th between Baumler and Reeder.
Now, if this was a normal stage, say in BRB, for example, obviously points would be on the line, but right now, these guys are just racing for position under caution. But there goes Tucker underneath. I think that's going to be good. He gets by the 33. And yes, lead change there at the stripe. Dalton Tucker back to point. Cody Anderson can't do anything here, but watch the 3 car get away. That's a nice view underneath the 3 there in turns 1 and 2. Lap 69 underway, lap 70 next up, and that will be the final lap here of stage number 2. Dive back to the inside from Anderson. I don't think that's going to be enough.
I mean, you got to respect him for trying. At least he's trying to go for it. He's holding on to Tucker, which is, you know, better than some of these other guys have been able to say. But
that's fair.
I think we might have to check Tucker. He might have one of those 2311 engines.
Oh man, well, down the backstretch. See everybody bobbling off the corner. Yeah, Arthur was way out wide, a little loose. I think Kleba was as well. But here we go, final time around in stage number 2, and Dalton Tucker will bring it around to get these stage wins, segment win, whatever we want to call it. Which now means the top 2 drivers in segment 1, and really the top 2 as far as just driver skill that I would have singled out to begin with here, Super, they have traded segment wins now. Arthur in segment 1, Tucker here in segment 2. What does that mean for segment 3? If you recall, I did single out 3 drivers that I felt like were the best 3. Jones is the missing piece of that puzzle right now, but he just went 7th in that segment.
You know, it's right. I mean, traffic. You know, he was stuck back there with that traffic. Probably threw him off a little bit. Right? He was up there running around 3rd. Had a whole lot less of it, but maybe that's what it's a little issue of these 990 horsepower cars, right? We could maybe see the dirty air as of more of a factor that these drivers are starting to now realize.
Well, here we go into the final segment now. These guys will get a chance to pit this time around. You see Arthur back there in 6th. I don't know if there's any pit stop rules around this pit stop in particular. Jacob Gladjulich, Nick Geilis, if you guys are watching, feel free to enlighten me, but I would think this has to be a straight up 4-tire stop if you're any of the leaders, but if you're a little farther back, do you consider 2?
No.
In before I get told they have to take 4.
Oh. I was going to say, because we saw the dangers that taking 2 could bring.
Yeah, no rules, actually. I was saying in before I get told, but yeah, no. No rules on this stop. It's free, open pit stop for these guys. Do what you want to do here. We've got to watch for those 2 tire calls. We didn't see it go well in the open, but, I mean, it's the All-Star race, right? Let's see, who does what here? Watch the race off from the blimp.
I think a bunch of 4 tires from everyone.
There goes Housden. I think it's 4 across the board. Tucker gets out of how. Yeah, I think it's 4 across the board. Look at Andujar, though. He picked up a bunch of spots. Did he go for 2? Yes, he did. I think he was also speeding, though, because he is now starting to fall back.
Oh.
We'll see. He might have just come out behind those 2, but as soon as he left the pit lane, he had to let those 2 guys go by. Regardless, let's see, who have we not talked to yet? I don't want to... Here's the thing, right? That I want to consider now for this interview. I want to get somebody, but I don't want to talk to Tucker just yet, because I feel like he might win the thing. So I want to go for somebody who might not. Actually, I know exactly who I'm going to go for. I know exactly who I want to talk to.
Oh, don't bring my pickup.
It's going to be the driver of the 4. I want to know, because he's got 3 wins this season. He is the leading driver in the win column, Hunter Sr. 3 wins this season. One of them was at Las Vegas. That's an intermediate. So why do we see you back here in 14th tonight? What's going on?
Oh, just having fun. I'm just relaxing. This is an off week. I especially with the open setup. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, of course, I know it's like half open, hybrid open. Is this something maybe you want to experiment with more down the road? I know Vincent talked very highly of it. I like the concept. What do you think so far?
The dirty air is definitely more than it usually is. You can kind of tell when you're going to the corners. You can't even get to the bottom anymore, honestly. If you have a car in front of you, or within a second, in front of you, you're gonna immediately just wash up to the wall of exit. So, I mean, I like it, but it's pretty tough. It's definitely different.
How much of that do we think, though, is the extra horsepower? How much of that do we think is the tire pressures being open?
I'm gonna say the extra horsepower. Like, you're going to these corners way faster than we normally do, and you gotta really get the car load down to get on the bottom.
Is there anything that can get you up to the front here?
I need 13 cars to wad it up in turn 1.
You know what? We've seen it before in the All-Star race. All right? It started raining suddenly at the drop of the green. So anything can happen. Best of luck here.
Sir, thank you so much. And hopefully I get to go back and watch the broadcast and have fun.
Hey, best of luck, Hunter. That's your 3-time race winner so far this season. Restarting 14th for this restart. Dalton Tucker in control as we re-enter the restart zone. 16 laps remaining here in the NORA All-Star race. Who's going to win it? Everybody on 4 tires except for that 07 green flag. Andujar went nowhere on the restart, but you know who did go somewhere? Vincent Arthur, right back to second place, chasing down the number 3. It's a reverse of segment number 1, where Tucker chased down the 24, went through the pit stop and nearly got him at the line. Now the 24 has to chase down the 3.
Yeah, but Tucker, right, we've seen how good he is throughout the entire run. He's already out in the lead. Is this... Right, could this be it? As now Arthur battling with Housden. I mean, he's already pulling away. I know a little bit has been helped by Arthur battling with Housden, but I don't know. Oh,
Housden just smoked the wall for 4. That's going to pass now for Brian Jones out of the inside. Does he go for 2? Gets down to the inside of Vincent Arthur to turn 1. We're inside of 15 to go. Not very long left in this race. But we could still have a caution and shake things up. Look at that racing deeper in the field.
everyone just battling for whatever position they can get.
And these guys, they've got to realize now, right? They're not just going to go out there and win it on pace. They need something to happen right now. But they don't want it to be them.
And but if something happens, every position is better odds at winning the race.
Whoa! Brian Jones. Oh, he's going to hit the 9!
Oh!
Teammates in the wall hard! The 9 is destroyed. Well, you can't even find him. There he is. There's the 9. No caution for that. Unbelievable.
No caution. They have to throw a caution soon.
No caution, and we're nearly crashing back here.
And that sucks for me because I chose Kleba.
I chose Jones. Unbelievable.
This might be another burn race for me. I got 55 points last time. I think I might get worse than that.
I think I missed completely on my picks, but here we go. 11 laps to go this time by Dalton Tucker to the line. He has got it currently over Arthur. There's the caution, and it's going to come out for Wayne Sparks in the front straightaway. Brian Jones, Dustin Cleveland are going to be wondering what the heck. We should have had it for us, but they don't have fast cars anyways, so they're done regardless.
I really want to hear that conversation between.
Let's see what happened here for the 9 and 45. Again, the big thing here is these two are teammates. There's Kleba up top. We're 1 and 2. Jones just got loose off of the corner and then came back up, and it just kind of took off on him and straight left reared the 9, and big hits there for both of those drivers. That's
I'm surprised the caution didn't come out for that.
Right. But then the 5 car has something happen here. Let's see what happened to him. Racing with Ronnie Norman, Cody Anderson, Cody Reeder. Off of turn 4. Just a little too high, Norman a little too low, and the car slaps back around, and Wayne Sparks, I think, will be done for the day. Here's Wayne's view. You see Norman on his outside, and just comes right around, and he got that wall pretty good, not gonna lie.
It's a heavy hit.
And so Dalton Tucker in control here.
Do you think we're going to see any pit stops?
That's just what I was thinking. And Tucker's going to come in. No, he fakes right back out. Does anybody come in? Yeah, a handful.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like,
may as well.
If I'm 6th or below, I think I would risk it. Put 4 tires on. What do you have to lose? It's the All-Star.
Well, Housden was 3rd, right? And he just came in. I think he realized the 2 ahead. He's not going to pass him straight up. He needs some kind of advantage. Come in and get the tires. May as well.
That's why I'm surprised a lot of guys stayed out that might not have had that chance.
And Housden down and away. 2 only on the 15. I don't hate the call, but I think I would have gone for 4 if possible. And this is going to put the top 5 as the 3, the 24, the 33, the 4, and the 04. So Tucker and Arthur are the top 2 all night long, but then 1 driver out of the open and 2 others that just have not had it tonight in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's honestly a pretty significant roadblock for Housden and everybody else to get through. I'm not saying it's a 2-car race, but I'm kind of hinting at it.
I don't know, because we've seen, right, even just 2 tires on the restart, right, that didn't end too well in the open. We're talking now 0 tires on the restart, right? What could happen from that?
This is a fair point. We could absolutely see another crash here on this restart, depending on whether or not these guys are able to manage their throttle input here. This could be really, really exciting. Well, as we get ready to go back racing here for the finish of this all-star race, once again, a big thank you to our partners. I know tonight got a little bit longer than intended with the power outage for Durham and everything, but a big thank you to Harpoon Design, Sparks Builders, Clark Contracting, and NORA for having us here this evening. This has been a blast. A big thank you as well to our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murders Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. There's your field for the All-Star race. A few cars now out of it, but 12 still in it. Sparks, Jones, and Kleba have parked it, though. That leaves Tucker, Arthur, Senior, Anderson, Housden, Skinner, Norman, Reeder, Moats, Andujar, Conover, Baumler, all on the racetrack as Baumler catches up and finds his place in line here. As soon as we go green, Super, here's what we're going to do. We've still got to do driver of the day. I think we've got 2 locks. Is that fair to say, the 3 and the 24?
Yeah, I feel like that's...
So once we get settled under green, we're each going to pick another one to nominate. And we're going to close this thing out. Here we go. 7 laps to go in the NORA All-Star race. Who's got it? Green flag. Down the backstretch, Tucker already a big lead over Vincent Arthur. The battle for third is on. The new tires coming through. That's going to be Norman and Housden. Can they get up here? Just 6 more laps when we hit the stripe. I'm Super.
Be close.
Driver of the day. We'll make it quick. Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go Norman, right? He's one of those drivers that came from the Open, and obviously we know it's a little hard to come from the Open to the All-Star. He's been doing really good. He's in 5th, potentially could slide his way up to 4th, maybe even 3rd. He's going for 4th right now. I mean, yeah, he's right. It's been a great day for him.
Oh, almost contact there. While you talk about that, I'm gonna take Housden. We've got Norman and Housden. We'll get that vote out now. Oh boy, this will be a fun run to the end. Even if there isn't much of a race for the win, this is going to be exciting for all these bragging rights positions behind. These guys are all over the racetrack, this extra horsepower and everything else. This is going to be fun to the end.
Might be a race for second too, because
Reader into Housden.
I still think Tucker might have an illegal engine in that machine.
Well, there's Dalton Tucker all the way into turn 1 here. 4 to go, that time by. Could we get another caution, reset things here? And look at Hunter Sr. suddenly up to snuff with these guys. It's like as soon as he got behind them, he's able to hang up with them.
Yeah, maybe, right. We talked to him earlier, right? He said he was just taking it a little bit easy. Maybe now he's deciding why not. He's already up here, might as well have a go at him.
He packed some air on the back end of the 24, got him loose that time through turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2 that time, and Arthur's going to have the advantage down the backstretch, still battling for every position in this race. But with 2 laps to go this time by, there is a clear favorite. It's his race to lose now, Dalton Tucker. 3 miles separating him and another all-star race victory. He won it a year ago.
Repeat in that beautiful 3. I saw a little bit of smoke behind as they went into turn number 1. It is a feisty battle here for second and for the positions behind. Look at that. It is just bragging rights at this point, but gotta have some fun with it.
And here we go. White flag brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. The Peter Max number 3. Honorary best in show, I think we can say, and Dalton Tucker trying to just sail this car around one more time to win the 2026 or 2005 NORA All-Star race. It's a battle for second. That's what Dalton wants to see. Senior to the inside of Vincent Arthur. But off of turn number 4, Dalton Tucker is an All-Star race winner in 2005. What a dominating win.
I think we can all agree he was definitely the fastest car out on track today. Easily.
I'm trying to find, Dalton Tucker, 2004 winner. Here he goes. Back-to-back seasons for Dalton in the All-Star race. Got it done in the number 42 last season. Now it's the number 3 in the Peter Max paint scheme. And he's going to burn it down. What a win for Dalton Tucker. I'm curious, when you look at laps led, there you see 25. It's not an overwhelming amount of the race, but Vincent Arthur had a bunch of the rest, 39 there for Vincent. Those two certainly are the top dogs here, and we've still got to go through tech, as we've learned, but actually, Hunter Sr. escaped a little bit too early. They might, I don't know if they're going to DQ him for that or what, but Dalton Tucker will come down and park the car. Maybe not just yet. He's not done.
He's got to blow up his engine like that one All-Star race.
Gotta make sure he spins it around enough times to clear the tank, because he's going to actually go for the Roval, I think. He is into uncharted territories now as of 2005. Well, I guess they had run the Roval at the time, just not for NASCAR.
Yeah, he's only got stickers, so he has to look out.
He's got to be careful not to get disqualified here by driving backwards for too long, but he's going to park it in the infield, I suppose, and maybe that's an idea one year, to run the Legends Road Course there in the infield, but Dalton Tucker will get it done here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the NORA All-Star race here in the 2025-2026 season. Let's go back and take a look at our unofficial race results here this evening. What a show it was. Go back just a little bit farther. And, boy, Dalton Tucker, we know he won this thing. That was very loud and apparent. But Vincent Arthur comes home second, Hunter Sr. third, Ronnie Norman, Cody Reeder, your top five. Those are your all-stars. Cody Anderson, Ryan Housen, and Brady Motes back into the top 10, with Jared Skinner and Joseph Andujar completing your top 10 on the results page. Obviously, a pretty slim field. That's the idea of the all-star race. It's meant to be hard to get into, and I think we saw that this evening. We were missing a couple of drivers that I feel like really should have been here. I know Chase Durham did qualify for the race, qualified on pole, and now you got to wonder what if, right? If he had been able to lock this thing down and even just be a part of the race for the win, who knows? But man, what a day! What a day! This was cool. We haven't really done this kind of thing with a league before. All the NASCAR leagues we've covered. We just haven't really had an event like this. This has been a lot of fun. So Nora, thank you. And hey, we've got 3 drivers to talk to here. Let's see if we can move them. Well, they're technically in the tech shed, but I think we can move them up. Let's see if we can do so. And get a word with our top 3 here after this all-star race. What an event. And I told you, I didn't really want to move Dalton in until the end of the race. I had a feeling, Super, once we got racing, the 3 just seemed a little too good. And sure enough, tech has been skipped. Is there some kind of, I guess, what's the word? Is there a coincidence there, Dalton, or what's going on?
Hold on, I missed what you said. What'd you say?
Well, I've gotten word that tech was skipped. That just feels a little convenient for the 3 car. I'm kidding, but congratulations, obviously, Dalton. I mean, BTA, as they say.
Yeah, I knew. I mean, track position was key. I mean, I think that was pretty evident. Me and Vinny put on a hell of a show at the beginning. That was some of the most fun racing I've had, trying to run him down after he got a pretty big lead on me. And I told him it was very reminiscent of 01 Atlanta with Gordon and Harvick. And I mean, I couldn't ask for more on that one. And I mean, the rest of the race was also a blast too.
Admittedly, I think the highlight reel did come in stage 1 between you and Vincent, but obviously you get the win here tonight, and 2 years running now, and the series just started last year, so you've got the 2 all-star wins. I mean, that'll take at least 2 more years for anybody to equal, right? That's got to feel pretty cool.
Yeah, and we keep trying these open setups to where you can make slight changes, and both years I told him I'm not making a change, I'm just going to run it. I don't know enough to make a change, so I feel like if I did make a change, I'd probably hurt myself. So it's pretty cool that the fixed setup came out on top 2 years in a row.
So you just ran straight fixed, no adjustment?
Yeah, no adjustments to tires, nothing.
How about that? Dalton Tucker grabs the win here this evening. Congratulations, All-Star. Is another $100 this year? Is that what the deal was?
I don't know. That sounds good though.
I don't want to fox Fox Sports it there at the end of Bristol with the triple chuck thing for Chandler Smith. But I saw rumblings that there was up to $100 last year. I haven't heard exactly if there was a prize for this race, but hey, Dalton, I could at least give you $100 of Monopoly money if nothing else.
Hey, that sounds good to me. I mean, I've told people before, I don't do this to make any kind of money. It's just pure competition and just going out there competing, and that's really what I like about it. Some people say try too hard, you do this and that, but it's honestly just a blast for me. And racing with all these guys every week, I can't ask for anything more from that. I mean, you saw the battles. It doesn't get much better than that.
There's only one guy who sent me a photo of himself holding a trophy, and I think right now it's that much more fitting. Dalton, congratulations, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
I appreciate it, y'all.
Dalton Tucker with the win here tonight in the All-Star race, and Vincent Arthur, he's got to have some good thoughts here. Super, he's headed your way.
Yeah, Arthur, stage one, that very, very close finish. Led most of the laps here today, but came up second. How do you feel about it?
It's an all-star race. You're here to win, but at the end of the day, just kind of the way it played out there at the end. Track position, only a couple laps to be able to get there under green. Yeah, it's not much you could do there, but all in all, I mean, it kept the car clean. Second after stage two there and getting like stuck in 7th place, it was kind of difficult to try to get back up there just with everybody pushing super hard and the 15 lap runs. But all in all, I think it's a day. Learned a lot for next week. Yeah, I mean, it's an all-star race. You're here to win, so just 2nd place is kind of disappointing, but at the end of the day, it's a good clean and a lot of fun racing with these guys.
Yeah, and speaking of next week, we have talked about it, right? We're going to go back to the normal horsepower. Do you think, how are you going to adapt to that reduction in horsepower for next week?
And honestly, be pretty really good to make it drive a little better. Felt like when I put the power down, restarts were always difficult, but I really enjoyed it because I could kind of put it on the wall and get a massive run down the backstretch. But everybody was spinning tires and stuff like that, and when you get back to the throttle middle of the corner, it really popped the nose. So a little less horsepower, a little less of that, drive a little better, but it also will make that kind of single file for the first 10-15 laps worse. So last year we went green, and that race is just, I mean, it's grueling how long it is. So I hope we get some good flag ground. With the new dynamic track, it should be pretty interesting to see how the track develops over the course of the evening. But I'm looking forward to it. Charlotte's a fun place. It's always one of my favorite races here. So we'll go into next week hoping to have a pretty solid points day.
Yeah, that sounds fun, and hopefully, right, you can carry some of this momentum on into Charlotte, and hopefully, maybe instead of talking to you in second, we'll be talking to you in first.
Yeah, I like the sounds of that.
All right. Thank you for your time. Good luck next week.
Appreciate it. See you then.
Vincent Arthur with a big night here at Charlotte for the All-Star race. On down, though, to 3rd place. It's convenient. We talked to him earlier as well. Hunter Sr. When we talked to you, you seemed like you would never be able to get anywhere north of 10th, and here you are, 3rd place at the end. Obviously, you stayed out under that last caution, and that, I think, did numbers. But it seemed like as soon as you got behind Dalton and Vincent, something clicked.
Yeah, when we our conversation, I was like, man, I can't go out like this. I gotta at least do something. And whenever I was noticing I was wrapping the bottom pretty well. I was after the contact with Cody. Sadly, I apologize about that, and if he's watching. But once I got past Cody and we kind of got on the bottom, it was just wrapping perfectly. And I noticed I was closing on Vincent. I was like, you know what, I could try to get a 2nd place. I obviously can't catch the 3, but that was awesome. And to be able to go from the back like that, what was it, 10 laps or whatever? Like you said, you guys talked to me, I wasn't even sitting in the top 10, and here we are finishing 3rd, so I couldn't be happier.
And 3rd place, just to back up all the wins you have this season. I know I say all the wins, though, right? And let's be real. Daytona and Talladega are 2 of them, so this maybe speaks volumes to that Las Vegas win, and that you can potentially go in and do that some more on these intermediates. And I'm not trying to put myself in your shoes, Hunter, but I'd imagine if I had 2 plate wins, I'd want these guys to understand, hey, I'm here to mess around on the big tracks, or the other tracks too, right? The smaller intermediates and stuff. That's the meat and potatoes of this season. So does this kind of feel like maybe another chapter in showing these guys what you're made of?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And, as much as like I said, when you interviewed me back in Daytona, and I said I didn't like restrictor plate racing and stuff like that. I mean, to me, a win's a win, and one of those, going in adding to Las Vegas, with that win, it means enough to know that, like, hey, like, I'm winning. Last season I kind of came in here and just filled it out, and then we come out this season, we already popped off 3 wins. So for tonight, especially after last week, I feel like I had such a great car last week, and got caught up in that incident with Cody and Brian. But we tonight, to be able to get up there and race with Vincent, and in my opinion, when you ask like the best guys in the league, Vincent, Dalton, Dustin, Josh, there's quite a bit. And when you get side by side with somebody like that, and you're actually racing them, it's a pretty good what is it, like an ego, I guess. It adds to the ego to be able to sit side by side with them and race like that. It's cool, and I don't think anybody in here, as much as like we all want to harp on restrictor plates, there's still enough that goes into it. I mean, it's I know it's just your full throttle and turning left, but if that doesn't mean anything, the Vegas was still a good one. So tonight, to be able to do that and finish in third, side by side, race Vincent pretty clean, it's definitely pretty good. It feels really good to do that.
Nearly had him there a couple times too. So Hunter, congratulations. Hopefully we're talking to you a spot or 2 farther north next week, and hey, hopefully you're making more of a habit of this on these intermediate tracks, the ones that I guess technically are driver tracks. It's been a lot of fun to see you lead the points to this point with consistency, but those other wins are coming. Congratulations,
sir. And I hopefully get to look forward to talking to you next week. And if Zach's watching, no, he hasn't been here the last 2 weeks, but if he's watching, hopefully next week I can get his $50 and pull that off. So I haven't forgot about that. I'm always going to remember that he did that. So, and if you don't mind, I'd like to give a big shout out to Juicy Spider, High Side Podcast, and Bubba Myers Designs, and big thanks to you guys. I'm going to love going back and watching your reaction on a lot of this. This was a really fun night, and it was really fun to be able to just have fun and just come out and just enjoy racing. So big thanks to you, and big thanks to everybody that supports us and what we do.
Glad to be here as always, and I know Zach wasn't here tonight. I think he'll go back and watch potentially. I'll at least tell him to, but he's celebrating his 25th birthday, so his quarter-life crisis, I guess, was reason enough to not be here on iRacing tonight. But hey, congratulations again, Hunter, for a solid finish here, and hopefully we're talking to you next week, potentially in a position to take some money from Zach.
I hope so, man. You guys have a great night, and thanks again.
There you go, Hunter Sr. Not quite the win he would have hoped for tonight, but I think considering where he was when we talked to him earlier, Super, it probably feels like a win. They go up 10 spots and get 3rd place here tonight. And again, just show some muscle. I think when you have those 2 plate wins to start the season off, yes, he's got one at Vegas, but I think a lot of guys are going to associate you to winning plate wins, winning plate races. So to do well on these intermediates, it has to be an extra boost for him, and help him along here this season. Looking at the schedule ahead, plenty of races to go. You see Charlotte next week, race number 12 of the season, 300 laps. Then it's right into the mid-season stretch, all those typical summer racetracks: Dover, Pocono, Michigan, Sonoma, Chicagoland, Montreal, Daytona, Pocono again, Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, Michigan again, Bristol. A lot of great racetracks on the way, and this stretch of 12 from Dover to Bristol is going to test these guys, I think, big time. Throw in really the next 15 races. Just everything to the chase here is going to be a big test of what these guys are made of. And then, of course, the chase to cap things off. But Super, final thoughts here from the All-Star race.
Yeah, obviously it was a great race. Really looking forward to what we're going to be able to see next week at Charlotte. Again, right, I think this definitely showed some of the drivers who were best able to adapt. That 110% more horsepower definitely kind of came into an effect. I think it really shows the drivers that can quickly adapt to their changes, and right, if something happens maybe later on in the season where a driver needs to adapt, I think we just saw who can do it best.
It's been a lot of fun here this evening, but how about we award that driver of the day award, as the vote has concluded, and that is going to go to none other than our All-Star race winner, Dalton Tucker. He is the true All-Star tonight. Just absolutely, he and Vincent dominated this thing, and Dalton definitely made bigger waves, I think. So congratulations to Dalton here this evening on getting that award. And as far as what's upcoming for us at Pit Stop TV, you saw it earlier, but here is a look at it again. Next up, GT3 Cars VIR this Thursday evening for the AM set of drivers with the North American Racing League. They've just announced they are running it back with Porsche Cup cars later this year. That'll be the summer season, so Porsche Cup season number 4 later on this year once GT3 racing concludes. But we've still got some rounds to go. 5 total, I believe. No, 4 actually. Yeah, 2 more AM, 2 more pro rounds. Should be a lot of fun to kick off this kind of run of the championship for each of those series this Thursday evening. And then Friday, we're still in the beginning stages of things with the Steering Wheel Nation Truck Series. It's race week for them. They head out to Las Vegas this Friday, and Sunday we're back in action with the All-American Racing Network with NASCAR Cup cars at Watkins Glen early Sunday morning. Thank you so much to everybody for watching here this evening. That will do it for us here from Charlotte Motor Speedway for this All-Star race. A big thank you once again to our partners with the series, Harpoon Design, Sparks Builders, Clark Contracting, and of course, the National Oval Racing Association. And a big thank you to our partners here with the channel, Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murder C Sports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you all next time here at Pit Stop TV, hopefully this Thursday evening for the North American Racing League. Headed out to VIR, one of the most special racetracks in the whole wide world. We'll see you then.